Hey, yo. Still no Ed. It's all good. Hi, everybody.
It's all, he'll be here. I'm talking to him right now on the phone. Technical difficulties, I guess.
Yeah, technical difficulties. We're all good. We got one person watching on the YouTube, and I'm going to go find out who that is. We got a few people watching. We got some technical difficulties. CMC will be here. I'm not totally sure what's going on. It's probably my error. Adam is here. What's up, guys? While we're waiting, we will talk about something that I brainstormed about, and we're going to be doing some roundtables. We got a date.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we got a date for some. What's up, Wally? How you doing? We got a date with a couple of them. So what I'm thinking about doing is it's got a really good response. We got like 15 people who want to do roundtables about geckos. So what we're going to probably do is maybe do like a roundtable once a month, once every other month, whatever it's going to take. Mm-hmm. And then I just put up that post asking for people who want to come on, and we got like VivTech, and I can just go there real quick and look at the stuff. I have Albert Karitz that wants to come on.
That'll be a good one.
That'll
be a great one.
Robert Reese. He likes to promote his business and his expos and stuff like that. He does expos. I can get my buddy John Kerpus on. He just started breeding dubia roaches out of dubia roaches. He does hognose and stuff like that. He says he doesn't know if he has anything to talk about, but it'd be fun to get like a small time keeper. We can get Jeff Scott on. Jeff Scott and I go way back. We used to do Late Night Leos together. So if we get Jeff on, I think we're going to get Morgan on too of Late Night Leos, and we'll do kind of a throwback thing. And then we got Hell's Bells and Paul's Pills want to come on. They're really good friends of mine. So we'll get Paul's Pills on.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, you guys heard of Paul's Pills because of me talking about them all the time. And then my buddy David wants to get on here too. He has been breeding geckos for a long while. So we're going to go ahead and get him on. That's going to be a fun one too. And then, of course, Ryan McVeigh of VivTech, he just posted 39 minutes ago. He just said VivTech products. So we're going to get VivTech on. We'll do some promotions with them, stuff like that. That's going to be, I can't believe what we got. What's up, Leo? We got Leo, Adam, and Wally on.
Leo.
So I got a better response when I posted on my page than we got people that I reached out to, like Wiccan, and we got Heidi. Who else did I reach out to? DNA Reptilia. That's going to be a fun one. If you don't know who DNA Reptilia is, he does a lot of photography and YouTube and stuff like that, but he also does a lot of breeding of ball pythons. He does a small group of crescent geckos and leopard geckos. Really good guy. I really enjoy his work. So he said he wants to be on, him and Abby. So that'd be fun. So we got a long list now. Now we're just going to start plugging dates in. I debated going up to Green Bay. You debate? Dude, I watch this. Watch. I'm taking clotted blood.
Is Ed in there now?
Nope. I don't see anybody in the key.
He says he's in there. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. We might have a technical difficulty. If we do have a technical difficulty and cannot get Ed on, we will just bump it and put him on later. I don't know why he's not showing up. We sent the link. I don't know if it's not letting him in with the phone he's using.
He's using his computer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. He is not showing up.
Maybe we could put a link in thing, and he could just come on.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Let me do it this way.
Yeah. Let me do that. Let me see if I can just go to Fauna Radio. We'll get them on, guys. We're gonna get someone on. We'll do this. I've been looking. I want to show these off. My displays look nice. I finally got my polish, and look at them displays. Anyone that's gone to shows know these displays. Wait, we should go this way.
Tanisha.
So there we go. Nice displays.
All right, well, put the link in the chat.
Wait, he's on here.
He's on there. Oh.
I see him. So let's just get him on right now. Let's pump him on right now. There he is.
Ed.
What's up?
There we go.
Oh, we got
Can't hear you, Ed.
here too. Yeah.
No volume,
No.
Ed. I don't know.
No volume. Oh, he's gonna get it. No volume. But why he's fixing that? Yeah, we got a lot of things. I got clouded blood. I'm not gonna call them sunbursts. They don't look like I wanted them to look like, so I call them clouded blood. You'll see why. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna buy a clouded blood in Green Bay, so I'll have them at the next Janesville and Seward. Yes, I see Rax.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff. He does a lot of shows, for children and stuff. So he's got pretty good stuff. And then his liners he makes are amazing.
Do you know what I want? And he's gonna, if he can hear me, I want someone to make liners for these.
He can do it.
Like just black liners for these. You want to know why?
Well, he doesn't do black. They're all like, he'll explain the liners to you.
Yeah. The reason I don't like them is leopard geckos poop all the time.
Yep. All the time.
We can't get him. We can't hear him. Let me see. Let me mute him and unmute him. See if that. No.
Maybe go into your settings, Ed, and check the sound. Make sure you got, because I've had to do that with mine once.
The clouded still has tremper in it. Yes, very much so. It is a very small chance with some of the stuff, but I'm not releasing anything that is small chance. It's all anything 50% het or above I'm releasing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you know those the bloods I got from you? They are eating machines. I mean, you put mealworms in all the tubs, and them ones are right there, just tearing into those. I've never seen nothing like it before. They're like little dinosaurs tearing them up.
The bloods get fed often. The dad is the one in my banner. The dad is one on my banner. We need to get Ed. I miss that already.
You miss that already.
Yeah, my banner. I don't know if I have my banner anymore. Let's see. But yeah, the M7 is my blood. M5 is the starting tangerine rainwater or tangerine rainwater. That's the founding male. M7 is your blood. M2 is my tangerine tremper line. Let's see. M1 is clouded. I still have the founding clouded and the clouded females, but I don't breed them together anymore.
No, I noticed on the stickers you sent me with the ones, it says like M2 times.
That was the parents.
Okay.
Yep. So because I won't remember the parents all the time. And if you just tell me it's an M2 and it was, whatever the mom is, I could say, oh yeah. Look at this I could show you the mom if you ever want to know, or the dad.
No, I would probably never need it. He's going to plug headphones in now.
He's like, you got to do what you do. Like, look, these are nice and fancy. They glow.
Yeah.
I used to have wireless ones, and I have ones for my switchboard, and
that's what I got, wireless ones.
But I hate the wire. Charging. That don't bother me. I can just do this, and it's gone. See, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Until you get up to walk away from your computer, and you pull your computer on the floor.
Well, that won't happen because I have a switchboard right here. Okay, so these aren't even hooked up directly to the computer. It's a switchboard, so I'd pull the switchboard off. Yeah, I don't want to do that though. I jam. Let's see. I'm okay, just chilling. Hi Ed and all cloud. Oh, we already answered that. So you see, Leo's gonna come up and buy a clouded blood.
Well, he was telling me today he's thinking about making a run up there, but it's a long haul. And I'm thinking to myself, you said last week he'll be coming up there, so I don't know. So Leo may be making that trip.
Just come. Don't buy a house. It's not a good time to buy a house. The housing market sucks for buyers. Just come buy clouded blood.
Yeah, everything's way up there right now. Everything.
Yeah, I don't. I know. I looked at in Utah where I want to go, and go to Utah where nobody's there. You look out the back, and it's the sand mountain. He's gone. He's coming back.
He'll be back.
But yeah, Party people, Bob, what's up? Yeah, but I am actually taking, dude, some stuff that's never been to shows again. I usually do it at the Green Bay show. I don't know why, but I am taking a bunch of $50 animals too. Leo might like that. I got some $50 Raptors, $50, tons of $50 stuff.
You should wear a Bears jersey, he said.
You could. Rock it out, dude. Rock it out.
Leo, there you go. There's your excuse to go. He's going to have some really cool stuff up there that you probably won't see again anywhere.
What's new with me? What's new with you? What's new with Andrew today?
I worked on that table today. Let me see what else is new with me. Not much. Not much at all, actually.
Me neither. I had a crested gecko lay eggs. I didn't want the lay eggs. Stupid thing. I wanted to breed it. It retains sperm. It's never been paired this year, and it laid eggs, and they look fertile. I was like, "What's that all about?" A little late in the season. I'm like, "Whoa!" But what else?
Every day I check to see if picta geckos have hatched, but I got a whole nother 3 weeks before the other pair of crested leopard geckos go.
Memphis lets me pet him now.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can pet him on the head. If he touches back, though, he don't like it. But I can sit there, pet him on the head. I can grab his head. He's fine. If I touch his back, he's gone. Let's see what we got. It says, I'm waiting for 3 eggs to hatch here this weekend. 3 eggs is awesome.
Yes,
Hopefully something sweet. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm gearing up for 2022. That's what I'm gearing up for.
I know what's new. I moved a bunch of the hatchlings that have gotten too big into other enclosures. I moved them up.
Oh, okay. There you go. I mean, that was bad. I'm scrolling through my phone to text somebody. But dude, when you do that, you'll notice that they take off.
Yeah, well, that's what the ones I did do a while back.
They take off.
Like the first ones, and they're getting huge. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, getting big.
And when you're hatching all the time, it's a little easier to see. But what's cool is when you have something growing up and you're like, wow, it's not really growing. It's not really big. But then you hatch something and you compare it and like, whoa. Yeah. You look at it, it's like, whoa, that's night and day. Because the stuff I hatched out in the beginning of the year, I don't weigh my stuff. Everyone sits there and weighs their stuff. I don't. I just look at it seriously, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, them aren't getting big. And then I put it next to a hatch. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I did.
You see this one right here?
Yeah.
Do you consider that? Yeah. Do you consider that obese?
No.
According to that chart I was looking at.
No, I'm getting breeding sticks. That's cool. Well, this is why I don't consider males to be obese. Okay, is if they get obese and you put them through breeding season and they don't lose any weight, then yes, okay. But males tend to not feed often, and they'll get down to not being massive, like too thin. They'll be normal. That's what I would rather have. You guys everyone's got to remember, we have them in a box, and Leo's going to say something. It's a box for our pleasure. They don't get the same exercise, and they eat more in captivity. We give them the prime reason to overeat and do nothing. So yeah, I mean, in the wild, does a leopard gecko have every day, every week food put in a dish? They might go 2 weeks without eating anything,
I know.
So that one's not overweight at all.
And this one here is a lot bigger than this now. It's huge.
Yeah, my raptors tend to be really thin, lengthy things, and then they chub up.
He's got a massive head on him now. I'll have to get you a picture later.
Yeah, his dad's got a massive head on him. I love when all of a sudden they grow, boom, and they're like, wow, we're small last week. Yes. That's my favorite thing is when I see a gecko change, too. It's like, is that the same one? That's what I'll do. Is that the same gecko?
Well, they could change color and a pattern and everything really fast. It's like, what the heck happened there?
Yeah, so I've been dealing with stuff like that that I just love. Like I haven't like packing for the show is my favorite time because I get to like really look at the animals. I don't have the book down here, but I print tags, and I know this is probably stupid. So every show I print new tags because these are cheap. I get thousands upon thousands upon thousands. I want to say 100,000 of these for $20. And so I print new tags every single time, and I put them on the tubs. And if I see that the tag is the same one and it's the same price, sometimes I won't put it over. But I try to put new lids on them because they get that ring, and I try to be professional as possible.
Yeah. I was looking at them the other day.
That's what I have.
They look pretty expensive. Although I suppose a person could find one and online or something cheaper.
I can show you right now.
Oh, okay. That ain't the one I was looking at then. I'm sorry. They got them on Amazon, right? They're about $80, right?
This I forget what this cost me. It might have been like 60, 50. I like this one because it's not the same size roll. I got a cough now. Got COVID. But big rolls of these, I can get 20 of them. That have 500 on them for $20.
Tanisha, just ignore those people. They're jealous that you're on there.
What's that?
She said somebody, when she was doing a live stream, said that they didn't like to look at her face or something. Just ignore those people.
Don't like to look at your face, and what are they doing on your live stream?
Good point. Yep.
Screw them people.
Marketplace for $40. That ain't bad. Now they're on one for 20. Wow. Might have to get me one.
Yeah, they're excellent. The only thing I've noticed I hate about it is I print, because of Wally, I print spreadsheets all the time now. And I look them over, I take them to work, and then I print a spreadsheet with all the animals I'm taking to the show so I can mark off when they sell, okay? And if I don't change, because the Dymo program goes directly to this, but then when I go to Word or Excel, it goes right to that instead of my regular printer, and I don't catch it, and it'll start printing all that on them tags. I've gone through a 500 roll. I'm sort of like, what? I come back, I'm like, what the? So that's something I don't like about it, but it's all good.
Yeah, spreadsheets. Wally's kind of got me doing spreadsheets now. I don't know. Wally, he's like addictive when it comes to stuff like that.
I like my spreadsheets because do you know how you always say that I got my business stuff down? I'm like numbers. That's how I do it. And Bob's right. Labels. I label everything. One of these labels right here. This is a clouded tangerine. It's not a clouded blood, but a clouded tangerine. I'll have it there for what is it? $200.
Yeah.
I have one of these without the price. But it'll say the parents on every one of the cages. So I can take them off, and I don't know. I need to start putting painter's tape on the tubs.
Bob has a question for you guys. Who uses Excel?
I use Excel because I haven't tried Sheets yet. I haven't tried it. I need to try it. But Excel, I get it. I know Wally's going to cringe at this. I pay a monthly fee for Microsoft Word, all them programs.
That's what we do too, because Becky uses it for work. So I just go right on here.
And then when my taxes come up, I just claim it on my taxes. It's only like $120 a year. Mm-hmm. And I do the same thing with my Lightroom. I don't want to buy Lightroom for my photography, so I pay a monthly fee, and I get to use Lightroom Classic, Lightroom Portable. I get to use. See, he says no. But then I get to use Adobe Photoshop, and then there's a thing called Adobe Spark, and all these things this one not, but all them cool banners. Let me get to where I can get there. All the cool things I put behind me, like this was used. I did this. This one was on that. I did it with that program. I mean, it just makes it easier for me. and all the advertisement stuff I do. Guys, using Excel for 40 years, it took me about 2 days to shift over to Sheets, and it's free. See, it's free. See,
It's free, but Becky uses it because it works. So the whole Microsoft Office thing. So it's more than just Excel. It's Excel. It's
okay. Leo's gonna make me
PowerPoint.
mad. Get the Picta. That'd be great because I don't want any sales for my buddy. But you got to buy a blood. Let's not break tradition. Oh man, I have someone that is. I got a bunch of cave geckos, and I have them here and from a buddy of mine named Ed. Wally knows who Ed is too. And he came and visited me at work the other day, just because both our schedules. He works for the same company I do, and he came and visited me, him and his wife, and we were talking, and he has more, cave geckos, but I'm like, hey, I got cave geckos right now. Why don't you keep them? And we were talking, and he's going to breed mealworms. And he's like, I don't want to get mealworms. So I said, dude, I'll just throw you a bag of 10,000. You can have them to turn them into beetles. So that was a fun day talking to him because I needed someone to talk to. Oh, here's Ed. Let's see if we can get Ed back on. And let's see. He's there. We hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We're good to
I
go.
went to I just switched to my phone instead.
That's all right. That is all right. So Ed, this is Gary. Gary, Ed.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Gary?
I'm alive and kicking, I think. Getting ready for the shows.
Yeah, they just canceled our show over here.
Yeah, they canceled his big show there. He was a little upset.
The Sacramento show was just canceled, so that kind of sucks.
Oh, California, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to have proof of vaccination to enter any state-owned building or federal-owned building. And when they were going to have the show was at the Cal Expo, and that is a state-owned building. So he figured people weren't going to show if they did that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wally says hello.
Who does?
Wally. Supreme Geckos said hello, Ed.
Oh, hey, Wally. How you doing? Thanks again for helping me out there, bud. I appreciate it.
Well, we'll start off with an easy one, Ed. What got you into reptiles, buddy?
Well, like everybody, I always liked them when I was a kid. I mean, my brother had a big retic, and I had a couple of, I had a red tail, a rainbow boa, geckos. And, collecting king snakes and gopher snakes out here in California, because we were like the last house on the block. So we had nothing but creek and fields as far as you can see. I mean, now they're all houses, everything's gone. And back then, because I'm almost 60, everything brought in was wild caught. Nothing was captive bred. So when you were getting a red tail or a retic, it was full of mites, stuck shed. I mean, they were in horrible conditions. And we didn't know much about the care back then either. I mean, it was like we didn't have internet, so we really couldn't educate ourselves about any of that stuff. So it was kind of hard. We threw them in a cage. I had my red tail in a cage on newspaper with a 100-watt light bulb, and thinking that's all it needed. But when we were kids, all we thought, hey, it's cool just to see them eat. That was
the way we did it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did everything wrong.
Seer Tegu had to get in the picture. He just kind of walked over, looked, and sat down.
Oh, did you? Yeah, he's probably he kind of reacts to movement when he sees the food. You see him over there?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. He was actually just right behind me, scratching at the window.
So
how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
It's a good day.
It's always a good day. So what was my next question for you? So explain a little bit about what you do with your animals now.
Basically, when we first started, it was me and Vanessa, of course. I mean, it started with her wanting a ball python, and this is probably the same story everybody has. And it just escalated into 100 ball pythons. I've recently downsized with the ball pythons anyways, and kind of restructured the way I was going to do this whole reptile thing. And, I know everybody's trying to get into it where they're, breeding ball pythons, and a lot of people trying to make money and a living off that. But I'm trying to do it where introducing the educational part of it. The liners came in a few years back. So I'm trying to turn this into basically this is all I'm doing now is the reptiles. The industry I was in just tanked, the printing industry. So with the liners and the reptiles, I downsized. I have a huge variety of different species of animals, so if I bring to educational shows and birthday parties, and I could kind of pick different animals each time I go, where I'm not bringing the same animal over and over, where it's stressed, they're getting stressed out. So I have a variety, and that's kind of, Wally was nice enough too to donate a Cresty for me, which is great because I have leopard geckos, milk snakes, Kenyans, I have blue tongues, I have the big boa, I have the tegu, and a variety of ball pythons. I have toads, turtles, tortoises, and I actually have two species of
everything.
So I have the redfoots, I have the sulcatas, and then I have a group of Central American wood turtles that I also bring, because everybody asks, what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? And it's kind of neat where you could bring both and explain kind of the same thing. What's the difference between a toad and a frog? One is more to the land, the other one likes water better. So it's kind of nice where I could show them to different species, not just bringing, a few animals. I bring a lot of animals to these. I did a camp. The city of Vacaville hired me to do a summer camp program. So I brought like 13 animals, and because there was 30 kids, they all want to hold something. So I like to bring a big variety so all the kids could actually handle a snake, where they're not all jumping up and down. I want to do it. I want to have a turn. So so they don't have to wait around to hold an animal. Everybody kind of take turns and get quite a bit of handling in there, especially with the ones that are scared to hold reptiles. I'll bring the little leopard geckos, which are great. If a child's afraid to hold a snake, I could bring the leopard geckos, which those are always cool for kids to handle, to get them used to handling a reptile.
Leopard geckos are amazing. So your education is a big part of your whole business plan.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is I started advertising the education probably 2 months before COVID hit. Oh. And that shut me down. But the birthday parties escalated. I did a lot of indoor parties, which are kind of like educational shows, because it's kind of neat, because all the adults at these parties are the ones that are asking questions, and they're more intrigued. Actually, the kids get bored and then run off after an hour. The adults are the ones that hang around and taking photos, and that's actually where I really want to get the education to, is because when the kids want a reptile, usually the mom or dad say, no, you're not having a snake. I don't want no snakes in my house. So when I can educate them, it's even better than educating the kids, because once the parent understands, I think they're more open to allow a reptile in the house to, for the kids to have as a pet, so it's really neat. The parties are just like an educational program, because there's been times where the parents will set up chairs for all the kids and they actually want me to talk. It's not like I go there and I just release a bunch of animals. They're actually want to hear about them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really fun, and I really have a good time, especially educating the adults, the parents, over everything.
And one thing Ed was talking to me about was he's got ones with metabolic bone disease, so he can show what improper care does the people have given him to take, and
right.
So he can really hit in on how important it is to have care for these animals.
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
tegu especially, because the tegu has it bad, and it's so sad to see. But this animal, even though it has MBD, this thing can still hustle. It could climb, and I'm giving it proper care now. I mean, I let it outside most of the time, so he's outside at least 3-4 days a week this time of year. With the weather's nice. I mean, I've only had him for now 4 months now. And he was gifted to me by GX3 Reptiles, gifted this animal to me. And someone surrendered it to them. But unfortunately, they put it got in with some males, and it got bit and attacked by some other males. I don't know if instinctively they know this animal is injured because of the MBD, and they attacked it. But yeah, he has 2 nasty bites on his back that are healing pretty nicely. He's already shed 3 times since I've had him in 4 months.
That's good.
So
Wow.
This was a 4-year-old animal, so he should be full grown. But I guarantee you, whoever was caring for him prior probably wasn't feeding him enough, because he's already getting bigger. The bull was the same thing. When I got my Motley, that was a 4-year-old female, which should be close to full grown, but it's doubled in size since I had it. She's 8 feet now. When I had her, she was about 5.
Yeah.
You know, she's 6 years old now.
You would think people, like the tegu is a red tegu, so it's not a cheap one. You would think people would take better care of it than what they did.
Red blue het albino. So, and it's a healthy, beautiful animal. And when I first got it, it was really cagey, and it still is. When I take this guy out, I wear gloves. Because, I mean, when I open that cage and go to grab him, I mean, he's tail whipping. And he tried to bite me the very first day I had him. And that was my fault. I mean, I put him on the grass. I was taking photos, standing over him. And when I went to pick him up, he just, bam, my whole hand was in his mouth. But luckily I was wearing gloves, because I knew he looked a little bit, he was getting puffy and a little defensive. So I knew, hey, I better wear some gloves before I pick him up. Yeah.
Bob said this is why it's important to do education, so people know how important it is to care for these animals. Yes, there's more to it than just putting it in a cage and feeding it.
Man. Yeah, because I'm totally against, especially when you have them as pets. I understand when you're breeding them, it's a different thing. But when you buy these as a pet and you're just throwing a bowl of food in there daily and then just leaving them without bringing them out, because I tongue feed. This animal does not eat out of a bowl. I tongue feed him.
He does what I do with Memphis.
Huh?
I do the same thing with Memphis. I tongue feed him every day.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to socialize with the animal. And this guy, when I let him outside and I walk out into the yard, because I usually let him out and I do my thing. I clean the room. I'll go back. But when I walk out there, if that thing is across the yard, he will run to me.
That's
because
awesome.
He goes, that's the guy that has food. He knows. So it's really cool.
Good.
He's much more relaxed and calm. He doesn't freak out anymore. They just get a little cagey when you pull him out. He gets like jumpy, but that's it. But I still wear gloves. I just want to be safe. I don't want to be bit by a full-grown tegu.
No.
Because I did feel the pressure of that bite just wearing those gloves, and they're heavy gloves. And that's another thing I try to teach kids and parents. If you have a fear of handling a bigger animal, just put gloves on until you get used to it. And you're comfortable, the snake or whatever reptile it is comfortable. You know, you're not a sissy for wearing gloves. I know people like to show, oh, I got big.
You could put a whole leather jacket on and everything, Ed.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, you don't want scars.
Whatever you want. Goggles. You could do the whole thing.
That's another good saying for a shirt there, Leo.
The only species you don't want to use gloves for is if you're going to use it for venomous. You don't want gloves on when you have a hook and tongs. All the rest, you don't want hands like mine, guys. You just don't want them. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Memphis, he'll crawl up my arm, and then I feed him snails, and then he'll like use my arm to put it in his mouth, and he gets my skin and pulls it up. I got marks all over my. And he doesn't mean to do it, but they got the molars, and the molars pinch, and it's like, oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
And
is there
that's
like? Go ahead, Ed. You can finish what you're saying.
Oh no, I was just going to say, that's kind of what I just try to. Anybody that even if people come, because I sell my animals when I do sell ball pythons or any animal, it's basically to the pet trade. I do put some animals on Morph Market, but most are people that come to my home and are buying their first snake, and you could tell they're a little shaky about holding it. And I always tell them, look, if you're nervous, don't get to the point where you get scared of a snake and then you just leave it in the cage and never handle it. Because I know people that have done that. And then they'll just feed it once a week, and they're okay. I got to get rid of it. I don't wear gloves. It's not going to hurt you. Ball python isn't going to hurt. You're not. It's if it bite, let it bite the hell out of you when you have gloves on. If you're that scared.
Yeah, Bob says he's got a gargoyle that's 9 months old, and he holds it every night. She lets him pet her. He pets her and all that kind of stuff. And that's the way to be. It's super chill. That way they're not jumpy and
right. Yeah, and that's the other great thing about the liners I use. I'm constantly, once these animals poop or pee on the paper, I got to pull it out, clean it. It kind of makes you a better keeper to the point where you just don't spot clean and then shut the drawer and then you're done. You have to actually remove the animal. So it gets a little more handling time with all these ball pythons, my milk snakes, Kenyans, all that stuff. My hog nose, because I have hog nose also. But a little bit of everything.
Is there any animal that you would really like to have for your shows that you don't?
Yes, there is. And that would be a water monitor. I would love to walk into someone's backyard with a monitor on a leash. I mean, to me, I know some of these guys, I have people that are doing these shows. Oh, you should get a lemur. I don't want to get anything like that because in this state, it's impossible. I mean, you need so many permits to get those type of animals to do educational stuff, and I'm just not going through. And I don't know nothing about a lemur. I don't want a lemur. I'd rather have something.
If you had the space, a croc monitor worked with would be an impressive animal.
Yeah. I would rather just have a much bigger lizard, and the monitor is my favorite. But because I don't have the room for the enclosure, but my buddy that owns GX3 Reptiles is now going to start building custom-made enclosures. So
that's what I'm talking about.
If I could get a nice 8-foot, enclosure where it's nice and high, and I could put a big water tub in there for it, and I definitely want a monitor, 100%.
And if you need UVA, UVB bulbs, I have a place that guarantees them for 2 years. They last up to 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah, my buddy Ryan, it's cutting edge stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
They're a little pricey for the first event, but if they last 4 years, they're not. And he guarantees them for 2.
Yeah, it's worth it. That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but my whole thing is the sunlight's the best. So summertime, the nice thing about the West Coast, especially here, we get sunlight 10 months out of the year.
That's amazing.
And it's just, we might have 2 months of rain and then it's done.
Yeah.
So these animals get a lot of outside time. Well, not the ball pythons, but the bigger animals. All my tortoises and turtles and I even have sliders. They're all outside.
So many lizards, so little space.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, Ed, I'm going to ask you about your liners that you got. Okay. But I want you to explain to people why newspaper really is not good.
Yes.
And why your liners are so important compared to other liners.
Yeah. Well, I think the misleading part about people using newspaper, because they, it's recyclable, but all paper is recyclable. It doesn't mean it's good because I mix ink. I mean, I did a video doing close-ups on the ink labels. That stuff is poison. It's 100% toxic.
Even the soybean?
Yeah, that's bullshit because the web presses can't use that soy base ink. That's more for like the direct imaging presses. They're the tiny ones, the small, more digital. But even that is not. It's still toxic. They made it better for the environment, But just like all our emissions for the cars, it's much better now. But you don't want to put your mouth around a muffler and breathe that in. It's still not good for you. Yeah, and that ink, I mix ink, and it tells you right on the label, it causes respiratory problems, it causes cancer, it causes birth defects. So it's even saying in an open container, not pregnant women not allowed just an open container of ink. This ain't laying on the ink. This uses breathing. I've had 4 friends that were pressmen for the 20 years that all died in their early 50s from cancer. From standing over those presses, spreading that ink, and they all died at the age of 52 and 54. And it didn't kill them overnight, but it takes time, and it is a toxic chemical, just like smoking cigarettes. You could smoke a pack, you could smoke a year, most likely nothing's going to happen, but long-term effect is not going to be good. I have a brother right now that's not probably going to make it, and it just spread to his lungs, but he smoked most of his life. And it's one of those things. I've had people, well, you can't prove that it's harmful. I can prove that it is harmful. It says it right on the freaking label that it is hazardous.
Here's what gets me. Even though it's green and it says green, being environmentally friendly, it's still dangerous.
Yeah.
But don't they have to put a drying agent on them too?
Well, like your recycled paper, most paper is made from recycled paper. So the newspaper is constantly being recycled and made into another paper. The mills just mill it, and that's the difference between my paper and every other paper. My paper is virgin stock. They call it virgin stock. So it's made from raw material. It's not made from recycled paper. Recycled paper, once it's made, they have glues, they have dyes, they have bleaches, all this other shit goes into it to make the paper. This paper is raw material. It's wood pulp, hot water compound, some keef, which is like a cotton. It comes from a plant, but it's all natural. And it's just, it's the safest way to keep your animal. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it because it's paper. There's so many good substrates out there. You got a ton of different coconut substrates now. You have EcoWorth that's coming out with their own coconut brand, and then you have the old style that's just dirt, it's soil. But depending on how you keep your animal and the way you want to keep it, it's up to you. But if you're a breeder of this size, like what I do, the paper's perfect. I can understand a bigger breeder, hey, it's using the paper is probably too much work for one of the larger breeders that have thousands of like Justin Kabolka. He's using it. Justin Kabolka's using it on his FB8s. So he's using it for his hatchlings only.
Your paper.
Yes, my paper. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. He's using it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You could tell how safe it is due to the fact you ate your lunch off it that one day.
Yeah. I have them in the kitchen. If I make a sandwich, I lay one of those liners down. I cut the tomatoes, the onion, whatever I put on the sandwich is when I'm cutting raw meat. When I prep the animals' food, because like this guy, he's eating raw salmon, tilapia, chicken hearts, raw chicken. My Central American wood turtles, the same thing. I switch their food around. Well, I'll give them greens with pellets one day, and another day tilapia. And I use those paper liners for everything. It's FDA approved. It's an FDA approved product. Newspaper is not.
That's huge. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
Do you got one to show people?
Huh?
Do you have one to show people?
I did. It's kind of cool because I was cutting these. This is the V18 tub. Okay. These are the new ones I'm doing for the V18. And I'm sure most people know that are using the FB8s, which is the new Freedom Breeder tub. It's this one right here. Can you guys see it?
Look at that. Yeah.
Okay. Now all Freedom Breeder did was take the V18 and put a cup in it. So what I did is I made another die without the cup cut. So now the V18s have all 4 sides. So I just ran these today. Just got the die made, and yeah, and actually these are the ones that Justin buys is for his FB8s, which are basically just the V18 with a cup. So Freedom Breeder, what they did is they copied all the Vision tubs and put a cup in them. The V35s, the V28s. Now you have the FB28 and the FB35 with a cup. And here's the dies right here. I get these dies made. There's the one with the cup holder, and then I'll get them without. So it's, and these dies aren't cheap either. I do the die lines for these dies. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 shots before you get the die right.
Whoa.
Because it's so precise where when there was one die I had to do 4 times because it just didn't fit right. And I was like, damn it. And it's like $300 each time. So it's not cheap. You draw the die line, and if it's off a 16th, it's not going to fit. So then you got to go back to the drawing, make another die, and then another die. So it's been a long process to get these FBs and all the ARS ones done, because I did ARS too. Here's actually the ARS hatchling right here, and it's they try to do similar. This is the version of the FB10, and this is the ARS hatchling. So I mean their cup is a lot closer to the front, and then the FB10s. So Freedom Breeders puts their cups more in the center. But again, I had to make all dies for these because people were asking are you going to do ARS? And originally I wasn't going to do any cup holders. I was just doing them for the flats, like what I have. Because these I could cut all day long. I don't need to make a die. I just load them into my machine. I could cut 1,000 sheets at a time to whatever size I want to do.
Wow.
I know when I was using them for the leopard geckos, the babies, the hatchlings, it made it so easy to clean up because, first off, they hold good moisture if you spray them down.
You could spray the hell out of it.
And when you would clean out that tub, you could pick that whole paper up and it still just stays together.
Yeah.
And then you put a new one in.
That's the difference between this and craft paper. Craft paper is put together by recycled paper. So it's made from recycled, and it's not as heavy as this. Even though this is craft, but it's called virgin craft. So it's completely different. You cannot get this anywhere. People might say, oh, I could get it at Uline. No, you can't. You could get craft paper at Uline, but you're not getting this. There's no way. This is a mill item. It comes directly from a paper mill, and it's made to order. It is not a shelf item, and it is expensive. Every time I order this stuff, minimum order is $5,000, and it's 4 tons.
Wow.
So if anybody else wants to try to go, I've had people say, oh, I bought my own, and I bought my own pair of scissors or one of those craft cutters you get at Michael's. And, because they didn't like that sometimes there was a time where I ran out of paper, and because of this COVID stuff, there was a delay from the mill, and it took 2 months for my last order to come. So I had a few people get a little bit pissed. I'm just going to get my own paper, and I bought a cutter. Well, have fun. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't even come close.
Bob wants to know if you could do a 12 by 12.
Absolutely.
For an Exoterra, because he's got an Exoterra.
Yes.
It's 12 inches by 12.
You can send me your size. I can't put everything on the website. I actually want to put something on the website where you can put, pick the size you want kind of thing. It's just hard to price that. So what people could message me and say, hey, I want a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 12 or an 18 by 20. I could cut it to any size as long as it doesn't go over 48 by 38, because that's how big I have the mill those sheets for me. If they're any bigger, I can't even load them into the machine. Because this paper is already so heavy and so dense. I mean, you go like this right here. If you ordered, like someone just ordered 500 of these ARS hatchlings, okay? Now, if you order 500 of the Reptizorb, right? The 500 of Reptizor might weigh 3-4 pounds at the most. 500 of these weigh 50 pounds. The same size, but that shows you how dense and heavy this is over that, like the Reptizor that's out there right now.
I like the video you did on. Didn't you do a video on them where you ran it for a coffee filter?
Yeah.
Not them, but the other one.
Yeah, because the water goes right through it. I don't know why they say it's absorbent. It's not.
No, and yours is absorbent.
Yeah, I mean, it drives me nuts when people just grab a fabric and go, ooh, this will look cool in a, just like the carpet stuff you could buy at Petco and PetSmart, that carpet. I'm hearing there's more and more issues with animals getting, like lizards that get their claws caught in that stuff, which.
Reptile carpet, I hate it.
Yeah.
So where can they, if somebody was interested in getting your liners, where could they get them?
The CMCReptiles.net. You just go onto the website. I have all the tub sizes for Sterlite, Iris are on there. All the FB sizes and most of the ARS. I still need to do the 70 and the 80 tub for the ARS, but those are big tubs. And I've only had a few people ask for the 70. So I only make these to where I feel, okay, is it going to be worth making? I don't want to spend, because the big dies are $300-400, and then they eat through a lot of the paper, and I would have to charge like $1 a piece just to get my money back on those. And I don't want to price these things out of the market where people are going, oh my God, they're too expensive. Well, they're expensive. It's not because I want to make them expensive. This is just expensive paper.
Now Bob can contact you on there, right, about the size he would need.
He can message me. He can even message me on Instagram if he wants. Yeah.
CMC Reptiles.
And I could cut to anything. I do it all the time. I just did one side. I have one customer that cuts it to, I think it's 16 and 11/16 by 18 and 3/16. I mean, that precise. And he orders that same paper. I mean, 11/16. So I just program my cutter to that, and it just goes to wherever I program it, and I can cut all day long. And that, I've had, I think I told you, Andy, about the guy in the UK.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He keeps a message. Yeah, and he actually kind of threatened me in a way where he said, if you don't work with me, I'll just do it myself up here. I'll steal your idea. And I said, go ahead, do it.
We had somebody ask what the smoke is behind you.
Oh, it's my humidifier. Let me turn it off. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't bother you.
We're in California. It's on fire. Yeah, I just turned it off. I was wondering why I was getting so hot. Yeah, I have the humidifier going. It is California. It's dry here, so I got to keep that thing. I keep this room about 55%. And I have eggs incubating, and I just don't want it to go too low.
Yeah, he just had a clutch of 14 ball python eggs.
Yeah,
nice size clutch.
Yeah, and it was. Tell everybody what it was.
It is a super leopard lesser cinnamon that I bred back to its mother, which was a lesser leopard. It was an animal I produced in 2018, and I gave the mom 2 years off because her last clutch was 9 eggs, and he was he looks like a pied. I mean, it's just blew me away. And I had a couple more in there that kind of looked like him. But yeah, I got 14 eggs out of that female, so I'm hoping I get more just like him, that pied looking pattern.
Yeah, you were saying that you think the super leopard looks like a pied, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I could show you if you want me to.
Yeah, sure.
Right here. Yeah, he's right here. I guess you could see the pied markings on this guy.
And he's not pied at all.
Nope.
That's cool.
Not pied at all. Let me get you in the camera. There we go.
That is cool.
Yeah, so this is the male that produced. And the leopards usually have these tail ringers on them, like that right there.
Yeah.
That's one of the sure signs, but not that defined. And then this guy's got the pied all through the body. So it's just
He's just
crazy.
taking off a different direction.
Yeah. And I think that's what I said. I believe this is what super leopard, to me, the super leopard form is this.
Okay.
Because there's other animals that make these ringers. I think champagne has a tail ringer too. They get this kind of white, if the champagne gene, if I'm not mistaken. But with 14 eggs, and plus this animal has lesser, the mom has lesser, and those also produce white snakes. So it's going to be like, I'm excited. Just more, for me, the most exciting clutch. I know for most people, a lot of people are messing around with the clown combos and pied combos and all that other stuff. Red stripes getting bit, all that stuff. But I don't. I just play the simple stuff. GHI, leopard. But I don't really mess with anything in the pied. I don't have any pied, any clown. I did have pied stuff, and I sold most of it off. I kept one, and I use that for the shows. I got one male that I bring to the shows because it's a cool looking animal. So yeah.
Anything cool will get their attention.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have a variety of different colors. I got a silver streak, which is an all dark brown snake with black, blotches all over him. So I try to bring a variety of different looking ball pythons, because they go, "What kind of snake is that?" "It's a ball python." "Well, what's that one?" "It's a ball python." So it's kind of neat that, you have all these different colors, and that's why I just can't find myself paying $5,000-$10,000 for a ball python. I'd rather buy a big monitor. I invest into a big lizard, that kind of money, but not a ball python.
Just get a Cayman lizard.
Yeah, a Cayman?
No, a Cayman lizard.
Cayman lizard.
There's a Cayman lizard like Memphis is. There's not many of them in the United States, but yeah.
Where did you get yours, Gary?
He came out of Peru and he went to a pet store, honestly, in Florida. It was at a pet store. And they had two, and I contacted them and I said, "Hey, I want it." There was 5 online at the time. Right. And he got caught in Memphis. That's how he got his name. And
that's good.
For 3 nights he was there, and then he showed up, and then my buddy bought the other one the pet store had. Like,
oh, wow.
I just contacted the pet store and I said, "You got a Cayman lizard? I want it." That's what I said.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I am looking for a legless lizard. That's the next animal I'm looking for.
Them are cool.
Yeah, Strictly Reptiles had a bunch of them, and and the thing about Strictly, they're a wholesale dealer, so you have to buy.
Yeah, we know who Strictly Reptiles is. I read the book.
Yeah, and but they sold out so fast. I would have to buy like 7 of them to meet the quota. I think it's like $450 or something you have to spend.
Yeah, and they used to be. I mean, you have to remember, legless lizards were what, $30 back in the day.
Back in the day, they were like cheap.
I mean, they were just common, and I call them puppy dogs because you can actually scratch them behind their ear and they'll lean into it.
Yeah, and they're the coolest thing, and they're just easy to keep too. You just put them on. I could put them on just some burrowing substrate, and just keep them in one of the tubs. So I do have my eye out for one of those.
If I find one at a good deal, I'll just get it.
Yeah,
if it's going to educational. We'll figure it out.
For it. Always looking for a different variety. I have a lot of room now that I've got rid of 45 large female ball pythons in the past. In the past year.
You should do is I got my Nile. Not many people know I have a Nile monitor. He's like 5 feet. I got him as a rescue. Someone gave him up.
Oh wow, okay.
So I took him in, and of course when I got him, he was 3.5 foot in a 40 breeder.
Oh wow.
So now he's got a big 8-foot cage, and he's outgrowing it. He's honestly outgrowing it, and my wife and I tell him, like, that's a dangerous animal at 5.5 feet. It's a dangerous animal, but I show her that he's not aggressive. You can open it up and you can like tong feed them. I wouldn't
Yeah.
do the other, but yeah. I mean, if I see something, I'm gonna bring it up to you. Maybe I can get some type of rescue to you.
Yeah, I'm actually too. I've been trying to find a boa, and I don't mind paying for it, but I was looking for another large boa, because I really feel bad for this female, because there was one time I brought this animal to 2 shows the same day, and you could just tell she was stressed, and I was freaking out. I brought it to that summer camp, and there's kid throwing sticks at its head. I mean, she was so stressed out because I finally had to said, let me do this. We were at a park, so I laid her on the ground. I even actually had a little video on Instagram where she started climbing up the tree, but she became much more relaxed once I put her down and just kind of let the kids stand around her and touch her, and that's why I like doing the outdoor thing, because I bring one of the big sulcatas. I just let him down, and I bring carrots and cucumber strips for the kids to feed them.
That tortoise gets spoiled.
Oh yeah, it's out. It's grazing. I figure it's getting a free meal because it's just eating all the grass at the park instead of eating mine. So he gets a free meal on top of it. But yeah, I am looking for another big boa constrictor, and I've reached out to a few people, and there are people keeping their eyes out for me. But I do need one.
Boas are great. Burmeses are underrated for educational shows because they're the puppy dog of the big snakes. They just get big.
Yeah, they get big. I think the boa constrictors are strong. I can't figure out. Brian Gundy, who lives about an hour south of me, brings the Burmese. And he has a nice, beautiful, big Burmese python. I don't know how he does it, but he brings a table. He has this tegu laying on it, or the blue tongue, and then he has that Burmese. It doesn't even move. I mean, I even asked, what do you tranquilize those things? Are not moving. How do you do that?
If I did that, they would be gone.
Yeah, I can't do it with these animals, even the blue tongue. I mean, the blue tongue, I could kind of put the blue tongue on where is it? On my shoulder, and you'll be fine. And gets a little squirmy, but if you support it, he'll be okay. But you just can't put him on a table because he'll start darting off. It's the weirdest thing how he can do that. He's been doing it for so long.
Wally does it with Dalmatian. He'll have it out at the show just on a light or on a perch. It just sits there. I'm like, if I did that with any of my animals, it'd be gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. How do you do that? Even the tegu with MBD runs away. I mean, I don't know. I thought for sure, okay, this animal has, I know it's not great, but it has MBD, so it should be easier.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't move that fast or can't climb. Not. It thinks still, they are so strong and just active, moving all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how them people do it at shows. I mean, I don't know how they do it. And now I just got asked today because I'm on the board for the Madison Area Herp Society.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to be set up next to me at the expo. And she just goes, can you bring some animals to the show for the... I'm like, well, yeah, I can bring the sulcata and stuff.
Right.
But I don't think any of the monitors would do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because my monitors are calm, but they're just... I mean,
they're active, right?
Yeah, and
they're active.
If someone did something to Memphis, the Cayman, I think I'd flip. He's like my favorite animal in the world.
That's one thing you got to be careful because like I said, that one, there was only 2 incidences so far where there was a child that was a little bit. You kept telling him, "Hey, don't hit the face or don't poke it with a stick."
Yep.
Yeah, and that's and you kind of want to I let the camp counselor finally said, look, you got to tell him to, this is like the 3rd time, he's just throwing stuff at the snake and he can't do that.
That's my biggest fear during because I used to do educational shows, but I know this is going to make some people like, what? I did them all for free.
Oh,
I would go to schools. I would go wherever they wanted me to go. And I would like, yeah, whatever, I'll do them.
Right.
And everyone's like, schools have money they have to spend, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They do. And they don't have the city, the same thing. And they had no problem paying what I asked for. the birthday, because you're packing these animals. It's a lot of work.
Oh, it is. I
It's
just
a
never
lot of work.
thought of it. So I'm relaunching it myself here in Wisconsin. So we'll see.
Yeah, I wish more people would do it. I mean, because the thing is too, if you're into especially someone I know there's people that just have ball pythons, but if you have a variety of animals, I mean, that's a way you can make money. I mean, I charge $235 for 90 minutes. And
that's not bad.
Yeah, and then some people just do an hour. I know Gundy only does an hour, and they'll ask, well, why do you only do 90 minutes? It's because the animals get stressed.
Yes.
You can't say, these aren't bouncy things where the kids are jumping in. You're going to blow them up and leave them all day. These animals, after an hour and a half of being handled,
they're done.
It was 100 degrees at one party. It did 105. Even though these are cold-blooded, that's still extreme heat, and it's not good for the animal.
Mm-mm.
And that's what freaks me out. And I try to explain to him, look, I wish I could be here all day educating you and do all that stuff, but because of the animals and the way they get stressed out, I can't do more than 90 minutes.
I've seen animals at expos that would get stressed out after being out for like an hour and a half and they get put away.
Yeah.
Just because so many hands.
Yeah. And me and my daughter did the Sacramento show before COVID hit, and everybody was holding the big, I probably brought 5 or 6 ball pythons, and then I brought the big boa, but people, we had at least 60 people around our table. Everyone was taking photos. The other tables were getting pissed because it was getting in their way. I didn't know how to stop it. Because we were the only ones allowing people to handle animals and take photos. And that was the whole thing. But that animal, I was freaking out the whole time. Oh my God. That's why I like to bring someone with me, because I bring so many animals. I could have at least eyes on the kids that they're not, choking it out or doing something stupid with it.
I have a story for you. We had him on. Remember Joe, the guy that made the venom cages?
Yeah.
Okay. This is blown away. I'm not putting him down. I am blown away by this. At the Rothschild's Reptile Expo, he brought an alligator. That's the only thing he had at the show. He had a chair. You could hold the alligator for $5 and take a picture with your own cell phone. And I think he did over $1,000.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. I'm sitting there like, I was blown away. Like, I would have never thought of that. I'm like, I thought he was over there taking pictures with a professional camera, printing them out. Nope. $5. You sit with the alligator and you take a picture with your cell phone.
There was people doing that at the show. $5 to take a photo.
Yeah, I'm like,
and you had to take your own photo. It was you taking the photo with your phone, and he would just charge you $5. I wasn't charging. I was just
What I thought about that, I'm like, that's the way to do it, And
people pay.
I won't put him down. I'm like, rock on. Now you got that money to feed him for the next couple months,
People pay. With social media makes that great, because I even advertise for photo shoots. I've done one or two of those where so many people love to post their stuff on Instagram, now on TikTok, and Facebook, and all that stuff. So having these crazy animals, they love doing it. I guarantee if you go to a park and bring your Memphis, you probably have a crowd of people around you taking pictures of it within minutes.
It's insane. I never thought of it, and I'm like, whoa. And because at the end of the show, because my daughter was spending time over there when everyone's holding the alligator, she was playing with this alligator,
Right.
And he came over and he told me that, and I'm like, you're lying to me, dude. I'm like, you're lying to me.
Oh man.
I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Any way to get. And how many of them people are going to say, look, I held an alligator?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Or even a big snake. People still, I'm sure if the neighbors knew I had all these animals, the other place I lived at, boy, I went through hell getting my business license. They all filed an appeal against me. They went and got a petition signed through the neighborhood that I shouldn't be able to have these animals. And I was freaking out. And the city was nice enough to send animal control to my house. and they were going to give me the license as long as animal control said I wasn't breaking any rules or
Cool.
California laws. And so when he was here, he actually called the city and said there is no quantity laws in California, and all these animals are very well kept, and everything he has in here you could buy at a pet shop. So you can't do anything to him. It's up to you whether you want to get him the license or not, but you can't touch him or tell him to get rid of his animals. He's completely legal. So they gave me the license, but they filed an appeal, the neighbors, against it, because all the neighbors have to be notified when I open a home-based business. So the city has to notify the neighbors around me, telling them what I'm doing and what's in the house. The lady next door to me flipped. And didn't even talk to me. She went straight to the city. There's no way I'm going to allow this. And I mean, she's going to bring down the value of the whole neighborhood. And I reached out to USARC. Never got a response. I think I reached out 3 or 4 emails to him. Didn't even get a response from him. And this was 7 years ago when I first applied for my business license.
So that was before, gosh dang it, Phil, right?
Yeah,
that was before Phil.
Yes.
That was before Phil.
Yeah, because I actually talked to him. At the Sacramento show, I had an attitude with that dude. I was like, it was like a year later, and I said, hey, I see you guys saying I said, do you just help like cities and states? You don't help individuals that are in trouble? He goes, no, we help individuals. I said, why didn't you respond to my email? He goes, what do you mean? And I told him the whole story. He goes, oh, dude, I apologize, but I wasn't there yet. I wasn't even working.
Yeah, Phil's a decent guy. I like Phil Gross.
Yeah.
I would like to get him on here.
That would be great. He helped me when I had the problem. I called him on the phone. He had so much stuff. He inundated the city council with so much information they didn't know what to do. When I went to the meeting, they had piles of paper. They're like, oh, we can't even go through all this. I'm like, well, hey.
I remember the days that we had to fight the stuff before USARC.
Right, yeah.
And we had to go to city meetings, and these people are like this. Ohio finally went down, and they don't allow venomous anymore and big cats and stuff like that. But when I lived there, I remember going to the meeting saying I had to fight. I'm like, I have the largest venomous collection in Ohio at the time. I'm like, we're not talking just hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about all these animals. You want me to kill them?
I know.
And they were like, well, why do you have them? And I'm like, why can't I have them? No, there's been no third party bite. And for months we used to fight. And then I left. And then 2 years later, that Gaboon viper bite happened to a fireman. And that brought it on. And Ohio's now dead for venomous. So,
jeez, why don't they get rid of all the dogs that mutilate kids and people? How many dog attacks are in the U.S.?
I'm all for owning anything, but feral cats, damage everything there is too.
Yeah.
My wife and I are trying to do like a sanctuary zoo type thing where we do rescue animals, and but I've been talking to a buddy of mine that has one down south, and I want it to be free. I don't want to charge people to get into it.
Sure.
And I talked to the city here in Green Bay, and I talked to Brown County, and they're for it. But when I brought up big cats, they were like, no. They were allowing venomous. They were allowing bats. As soon as I said, what if I get a tiger or two? They were like, no. And I was going to hire somebody. I was going to bring someone in because I don't know anything about big cats.
Right.
But I was like, I'll bring someone in to do this. And they said no. And I'm like, okay. No, okay. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It does make me nervous because what I see what Port Florida's going through, and I just feel terrible for those guys, the tegus, and especially underground reptiles. That's what they made. I mean, he made his life on those tegus.
Ty Park's going to get around it because of his zoo. He's accredited now.
Right, exactly. I see that.
But
he was it Dave Koff? I think Dave Palumbo did something on him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ty's really cool. He's a really good guy, but them Florida guys, When that goes into effect where they can't be kept outside anymore.
I know.
That's like
it sucks. It just that's why it's so good to do educate. If more people did it, I think it would just help. You just got to bring education and awareness to a lot of these people are so close. I don't know how many people they see me holding the ball python. Oh, can't that kill you? Can't it strangle you? I mean, they're so far off the chart on understanding anything about these reptiles.
The thing I bring up to Florida is the Burmese python problem. I know there's a problem.
Right.
Okay. But my issue is this. Was it brought in with imported plants and stuff like that? Because have you ever seen a morph caught in Florida?
No.
So here's my thinking. If a hurricane knocked over a facility or someone, anything, it's harder to find a normal Burmese than it is an albino or green.
Right.
Where's the morphs? I think they were imported with the plants just like the toads were and just like the other stuff was.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Right.
Now, corn snakes are one thing. I know someone that Rich used to release corn snakes.
Right.
So you can go down there around his property and you probably find snows and MLs and yeah. And that was like a big thing that he got.
Oh, I remember that.
He got hammered for it. And it's a public thing. It's a big public thing.
Wally Kern from Supreme Geckos was talking about what you were talking about your neighbor lady there. Ed said, "Thank you, neighbor Karen."
Yeah, that's it. She's a Karen. Oh yeah, she is. She was so mean.
Becky and I were doing educational just for free. Going into the nursing home, like they would have us come in and show the animals. We were doing it. We're going to all kinds of places, going to the school and all that. And that's when the city decided. That's when I had my trouble because the city was like, the mayor, that stuff's going to come up my toilet. And that's exactly what he said in the city meeting.
That's what I mean. They're so far off the charts on they're not. They have no education of these animals. That's what's bad.
They come up in your toilet.
It's just, I don't get it.
I'll tell you how bad this town got, Gary. I don't know if I ever told you this, but the mayor fought so hard. They had a big water main break on the other side of town, so half the town didn't have any water.
Yeah.
And they had it all dug up. He stopped that and was only focusing on trying to get me to get rid of my animals. 6 months, people on the other side of town had to truck water in because they didn't have any water whatsoever. And they finally showed up at the meeting and was like, dude, what are you doing? Let this guy be. Let's get water going on. So in June, with the next election, the whole city council was voted off, and so was the mayor.
I don't understand why people. I get there are bad keepers, but they're 1% of the keepers.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more dog abusers than our reptile abusers.
I know.
I mean, it's because we had an issue here where when I wasn't home one time, my wife thought someone broke in the house, so she called the cops. They came down to the basement. And they're like, "Oh yeah, they see all them. Okay, cool." But I also do work with the city. If there's a confiscated alligator or something, I get it. I hate it now, but I was contacted about the ball pythons that were. I wanted nothing to do with that. Someone got all their ball pythons taken away, all of them, and it wasn't even breaking. You can have as many ball pythons as you want, and I still don't know what's gone on with that one.
See, and it's funny how you see all these associations that help dogs and cats.
Yep.
Donate for this, but there's nothing for reptiles.
Not one.
They have adoption centers for dogs, for cats, and just like you said, that if we counted how many dog attacks that are 10 times worse than getting bitten by any of these animals in this room, but these ones are so misunderstood, it's not even funny. I mean, it's just terrible. And the other thing about these animals is they do so much good because they keep at least the ones that are native, like the gopher snakes, king snakes, as I said, rattlesnakes, they keep the rat and the mouse population down.
Oh yeah,
people don't realize how good these are for the environment.
You got Mojaves around your area in Southern Pacifics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the Mojave guy in Buzztails in Ohio.
Oh, really?
I probably had 120 different Mojaves.
Oh, wow.
And then I had someone had Western Diamondback Mojave crosses.
Right.
And I had 3 of those.
That's
and I
great.
believe Jim Harrison still has them crosses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I donated a lot of my rattlesnakes to I gave them to Sean, which Sean gave them to Jim.
Yeah.
I call him, if anyone knows him in the venomous world, he's missing his finger.
Okay.
Yeah, so
like Tyler Nolan.
like Tyler Nolan, yeah. But I was the buzztail guy. I got old videos of me sitting in and doing the talking head like we do, and you just hear rattlesnakes around me.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
that was
great.
fun.
I'm waiting for Ed to do a video of walking around and finding them outside, but
Man, I believe me, Andy, I go to all kinds of places, and it's so hard to find anything anymore in this state. It's funny that a guy that actually buys liners from me, and he's just getting into the ball python thing, he found a snake in his shed, and he sent me a picture. He goes, Ed, what is this? I said, it's a gopher snake. And he was in his shed. He goes, what should I do with it? Everybody's telling me to set it free. I said, set it free where? The whole state's burning, and what's left, they're building houses. I said, keep it. I said, it's going to survive longer if you put it in a nice enclosure and just keep it yourself.
Yeah.
You used to find these animals everywhere. My yard is covered in lizards. There's lizards all over the place. But
they know where they're safe.
Yeah, snakes, you can't. I had a buddy that, works in Sacramento, and he knows I do removal. And he goes, hey, Ed, I had a rattlesnake in my office. I said, well, you want me to come get it? He goes, no, I already took care of it. I said, with what? He goes, with a shovel. And he killed it. I mean, it's just like, God, come on, man.
When I went out to San Diego last year when my son graduated military, and every state I was looking for rattlesnakes. Every state, and I did not see one.
Yeah.
And I would like to think I know sort of where to look, and I didn't find nothing.
Exactly.
I could take you to my cousin's place. You'd find a whole bunch of prairies down there.
Prairie rattlesnakes are underrated.
Andy, because you live in a remote area. It's just sad. I mean, just like I told you where I grew up, there's creeks, eucalyptus trees. It was all nature. It's gone. Nothing is left. It's all houses. These are natural springs. They completely destroyed. I mean, just gone. They cut the eucalyptus down. I mean, it's a shame what they're doing. And where do you think these animals, they're dying. The snakes have nowhere to go. They're just burying them in the dirt and the concrete and killing everything. So, yeah, before I'd find snakes at least 2-3 times a week. You'd find a gopher snake or a king snake. I haven't found one in the wild in years.
Yeah, I've heard that the king snakes are hard to find.
Oh, they're hard to find.
Unless you're Brian Gundy.
Yeah, Gundy he knows where to go, those coastal areas in Santa Cruz. And he's in a more cooler climate than I am, because like today it was 103. You're not going to find snakes out in 103. They're burrowed in the shade somewhere. But I try to go herping in the morning, right when the sun's coming up, when the snakes usually go out and bask. I still can't find them. And I mean, I go into some dense areas deep into the woods where I'm walking miles away from everybody, and I can't find anything.
Man, that makes me feel better, because I was looking, man. I was like, I was in San Diego. I went outside San Diego. I have pictures of me in desert area, Nevada. Yeah. And I got me taking pictures of like Dorito bags and beer bottles out there. I'm like, I'm finding this, nothing else.
Yeah, see?
I don't know if you saw this up here, but Bob wanted to know if anybody had any, if any of us have kept pink tongue skinks. I never have.
No, just I got a blue right here. I got my blue tongue, but not a pink. I didn't know they had a pink one, a pink tongue skink.
My buddy Dan that owns Animal House has pink tongues all the time. The coolest skink I've ever owned is a monkey tail, but that was before they were thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah, they used to be cheap too.
Yeah, I know everything's going up. It's a good thing. I mean, the industry is doing really well. I think COVID might have helped it, because people being locked in their homes looking for hobbies and something different to do.
I can't keep stuff in stock. I can't.
Yeah. And it's cool because it's adults that are getting into it.
Yes.
I mean, all adults. I had another guy text me out of the blue. hey, I'm in your area. Are you the guy that does liners? Can I come by and pick some up? And I'm thinking, sometimes you get a little weary about just letting someone come to your home. And I said, sure, come on up. So he came, really nice guy, owns an electric company, same age as me. Him and his son just got into it. He's already got 30 ball pythons but
got into it, didn't he? He got into it.
Yeah, he's only done a year now, but he's building all his own enclosures because he is an electrician. So he has that skill set where he could build these. And he even said, "I'll build you an incubator if you want." He showed me photos of all the incubators he built, and I was going, man. So it's really neat. And these are the people that I deal with, and that's what's another nice thing about doing the liners. I've met so many cool, really nice people that I didn't even know were in the industry all over this area. And it's just been great meeting Reptile Jim. I mean, that guy is got monster retics. And I've been trying to get a hold of, and he's been doing it for years. And he does but he's not big on social media.
That's what it is now.
Yeah,
if you're not big on social media, you don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but he does exist. Stupid. He's a big breeder, and he has big retics.
That's awesome.
Why don't you tell people how you incubate your eggs?
Oh, I incubate them right in the tubs. Right in the tubs. Yeah, and I mean my first 2 years of getting into this breeding, I bought those crappy Zoo-Med incubators.
Oh,
they look like little mini fridges.
Can't fit nothing in them.
Put them brand new, right? And I just had 2 clutches in it because they're not that big. Yeah, you're right. You can't put nothing in them. And the thing, it somehow malfunctioned, but it malfunctioned cold.
That's what they do. That's what they're known for.
Like 50 degrees and just killed my clutch was probably 4 days from hatching out. I bought another one thinking, that one's just faulty. It did the same freaking thing. Killed 3 clutches. I was so mad. So now I figured, you know what? Why can't I just incubate my damn tubs, the rats? And that's what I do. So I put them in, I still put them in a little container with the perlite. And then I put, little tomato. I mean, I got one right here. It's 88 degrees. I got a clutch over here, 88 degrees. And it stays that way. And if these ever went out, the room is 85 degrees. So I wouldn't have to worry. It's not going to go cold on me. And I've been successful since I started doing it this way.
I think that way would work. With leopard geckos. Yeah, leopard geckos, people think egg fluctuation temps are going to kill them, and it won't if it don't go cold. Yeah, if it don't go cold, if egg fluctuation and temp fluctuation doesn't hurt it, as long as it don't go cold.
It does it in the wild. That guy that was here the other day was tripping that I did this he goes, how do they work? How does that survive? He goes, you don't have cellophane over it? I said, do you think the mother wraps cellophane around her eggs in the wild?
She goes to the grocery store and buys it.
Yeah, and there's temperature fluctuations at night. When night comes, I'm sure those eggs drop 4 or 5 degrees at nighttime when she's incubated in the wild. Mm-hmm. Right? So
100%.
In my mind, I was thinking it might not be good to just keep them at exactly 88 or 89 for the whole 2 months. So I actually put a night drop on my eggs, 3 degrees. It's just a 6-hour night drop, just like they were if they were in the wild, instead of keeping up that. Because I think that it helps the development of the snake or whatever animal's in the egg. It's not developing too fast, because that's where I think you get a lot of the deformities.
Deformities is developing too fast.
Yeah,
that's my honest opinion.
Keep it at exactly 89 degrees the whole 2 months.
I like that.
So I just started, and I mean, I've researched the weather patterns in Africa where these animals come from. The temperatures drop 20, 30 degrees at night.
Oh, yeah.
It's a desert. People don't realize how cold it gets. Just like I got Uromastics. All right, I've had those and these are wild caught animals. Everybody, you can't let it get 60 degrees in the room, because I have my I have the UV on a 12-hour cycle.
Yeah.
So whatever my house is, that's what it's going to get. So in the wintertime, it'll get to 64. Those animals are fine. The desert gets to in the 20s sometimes.
Yep.
You think those animals need a cooling period. They can't just stay 120 degrees, 24 hours a day.
You're 100% right, and people need to understand that reptiles don't need all to be hot either.
Yeah.
No.
Because my alligator lizards, if they get over 70 degrees, they're sluggish. They don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Leo,
they need that cool down time. Tortoises are the same. My tortoises, if it's 85, you think they're basking in the sun? Hell, those things are in the shade.
Yep.
They are out. They do not want to be in the sun. That sunlight hits that shell all day. They're gonna die. They're gonna cook in that egg or in that shell.
Yep.
Leo said with the mothers go out and set the herpstat 1, and that's how they do it in the wild.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
And that's the other thing. You try to tell people that are getting into it brand new, you don't need to spend $10,000 on an entire Freedom Breeder setup. You don't need to buy a $3,000 incubator. You could. This is fine. I've been doing it. I had Freedom Breeder racks. They're great. I love them. The rat rack I had, the best thing I ever bought. But I got rid of my Freedom Breeder snake racks because they were just too big for this room. They take up so much room. They're better for if you have a huge warehouse. But when it comes down to it, all these animals, they're just in a tub. And what's wrapped around them, who cares?
We put them in a plastic tub for our enjoyment.
Freedom Breeders, Vision, Reptile Basics, they all make a good product.
Yeah.
And these are much lighter and easier to move.
You and I talked about that the other day.
Yeah, exactly. And
now,
I love these things.
The main reason I use an incubator for my leopard gecko eggs is so you get the male or female, so you could try to focus that in.
Right.
That's why I don't, if you did a fluctuating with leopard geckos, don't you think that it would be probably a combination?
Yeah, you'll get both. You'll get a little of both. And I know this is going to really shock some people. If you do an 86, the 86 degree or 85 degree males will not look as good as the 89 degree males.
Oh, no?
The higher temp gives you better looking animals. It just does.
Yeah.
Well, he says, or you need a wife to find that on an incubator for $3 at a rummage sale.
You do not understand how good a deal that is.
I know.
I'm just sitting there like, whatever. That's all I said. I was like, whatever. That's awesome.
Yeah. See. Yeah. To me, it doesn't matter. I got giant toads over here, and those are in Zoom Med, cages. I have another the giant canes. I didn't realize there was 2 types of canes or marine toads. There's the normal one, and then there's a giant one. Huh. So I have a giant one on order with Underground Reptiles. These are the ones that like Barchek got, the big giant things. They're like 5 pounds. Because I want those. I want one of those. I got the cane. I got the smooth-sided toad. Again, all wild-caught animals. And I love getting wild-caught stuff. That's why I love Underground Reptiles. To me, it's more of a challenge to care for those animals. Because when you pull something out of the wild and put it in captivity, you better have everything on point. Otherwise, and that's why I feel bad for Ryan. That guy gets so much crap because he gets, my animal died 2 days after I got it from you. Because they probably didn't have the setup right.
100%.
You get these giant cane toads. Don't be calling me on the phone, Ed, and saying, "How do I get it off my hand?"
Wally, the leopard geckos usually are sex determined in the first 15 to 20 days.
That's what I thought, like 15 to 20 days. Yeah, and then you could switch them to something.
I just said, I know this sounds bad. I don't want hatchlings all the time, so I don't care. I just put them in when they hatch. They hatch. I don't care.
Right.
My first, I incubate 10% of my stuff is male, 90% is female, and the first clutches I get from each one goes male usually. And I'm still sitting. I counted them yesterday, 587 eggs.
Wow. I was just going to ask you, how many do you produce a year?
This year will be 2,500-ish, 2,550.
Holy crap.
I'm going to try to up it to 3,200 because I'm selling out. I got people on wholesale wait lists.
Really?
Yeah, I got people.
My God,
I just had a good friend.
Crazy.
We're on a chat, and he's like, "I need wholesale geckos." I'm like, "I don't have them."
Give me a year, Gary. I'll be beating that number.
Dude, I hope you do. I hope you do. People ask why I don't sell online as much. It's just because the wholesale geckos and jobbers buy off me, and then pet stores. I call jobbers like people that go to expos that aren't real pet stores or breeders. They just buy and resell.
Right.
I don't call them flipper. I call them jobbers. And then expos. I mean, I move 40-ish geckos every expo minimum.
Yeah.
And I just need geckos. I'm thinking about buying someone else's geckos.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I have 4, and 3 of them have MBD. So 3 of them were gifted to me. But those are great. I love bringing those because, like I said, if there's kids that are afraid,
Leopard gecko.
They see a little cute leopard gecko. You just put it on your shirt; it just clings there, kind of thing. So
I've had some pretty good bites from leopard geckos.
yeah, one of them actually bit one of the kids at a party and just made his little tip of his finger bleed. And I was going, now you're in the club. I was being all, and then his mom's coming up. Are you okay? Oh my God! And then he starts crying. I'm going, why'd you do that? Don't baby him because I was
at the Sewer Fest show. I had a dad said, I want to see that they don't bite. And I'm like, well, they don't.
Yeah.
I'm petting its head. And he goes, well, I want to see one bite. I'm like, I don't even know how to make it bite. So I started petting its head a lot. It opened its mouth. I stuck my finger in its mouth. It goes, and let's go. And I'm like, you don't bite. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
See, Ed, that's the difference between our generation and the new generation.
Right.
I cut my finger off when I'm a kid. My mom's like, put a Band-Aid on it. You'll be fine.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Rub dirt in it, boy.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you got to scrape.
Yeah. When I was a kid, we'd go outside to play in the morning. We wouldn't come back till late at night. We drink water out of the gutter. So when there's like someone sprinkling their lawn, the water's going shit. If we were thirsty, drink right out of the gutter, out of the hose. Now they got all this fancy water bottles.
Oh, we got smart water.
We played hard.
Smart water.
Kids. Yeah, that was I had a fun childhood.
My friend writes music, okay? And I know some people don't like rap, but he's a rapper. And he's one of the big ones.
I like all music.
That's awesome.
Rap. Yeah.
He just put this in as one of his new songs. Says, I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd save the planet for free. Too bad we only need them to breathe. And I'm like, that is so perfect, dude.
There you go.
So today's generation doesn't think of things like we do.
No.
They think about now and now only.
Yeah.
And
that's what it seems like. I know I have a 18-year-old daughter that can't live without her phone, her internet. Yeah, and it's just like, man, I didn't even have that stuff when I was a kid.
Social media is such a double-edged sword.
Ugh, it is.
It's such a double-edged sword. It's just like, sometimes I don't even want to get online. I think I talked to Andrew, and that's about it. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude?
I get that from a lot of people. I'm not online today, but I'll say hi to you today.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. Or I'll do like graphics, or I'll code, because I'll sit there and just code. Because the reptile room got taken down because my host was stupid and didn't let me know that they were going out of business. I'm like, what? That was hosting that on. I had a direct server with them, and now I can't get my data back.
Wow, really?
So I have a backup from a month ago. So I'm gonna redo some stuff and get TRR back up. I'm talking to my host at Host Owner Exotics, see if I can get a dedicated server, because I'm gonna need a dedicated server for that. It's gonna use a lot of data. But,
okay.
I was like, they just like took. This is how I found out. They took the payment out of my account and then stopped the reoccurring payment. And I'm like, why would they stop the reoccurring payment? And then I go to the reptile room, it's off. So I email them like, oh yeah, we're going out of business. I was like, but you took the payment for the month. So they refunded it. They refunded me the payment. I'm like, oh, well, thanks. And I said, can I get my data backed up? Oh, no.
For the people that didn't complain about it, probably didn't get a refund.
Yeah. I'm like, that's my code. And I'm like, well, did you do a backup? I'm like, well, yeah, but it's a month ago, but whatever. That's all I said. I was like, whatever.
Jeez. That's crazy.
I blame Leo because he's not blind on clouded blood.
Yeah, he's going to show up, I think. He can't help himself. He'll be
Leo, come on, I'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
And Leo, you will find something out about me. I take first time Leo's to Green Bay show because it's local.
Right.
It's like it's setups at 9:00. Wally's gonna get so mad right here. I'm probably gonna get up at 8:00.
Oh.
And I'm just gonna pack up my car and go.
Wow.
Tell me that's not. I've never had an expo this close to me in my whole life.
So your shows are all open and
Yeah,
no issues, right?
nothing so far. The Green Bay show's happening. Janesville's happened. Sewerfest happened. They all ask if you're not vaccinated to wear a mask. That might change.
Yeah, this was not vaccinated. You're not going in the building.
Yeah,
Mask or not, they don't care. So was our show, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, because I was excited about this show. And we had a show in Santa Rosa, and that show just didn't have a lot of vendors at it. A lot of people showed up, but just not a lot of vendors. The place was half empty. And I think you might have seen Brian Cusco did a lot of interviews at that show.
yeah.
Yeah, that was that was just terrible. Or not Santa Rosa, Roseville, the Roseville show.
Yeah, the whole mask thing doesn't bother me. If we have to wear a mask, we have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm vaccinated, so it's.
And I've been in this the whole time. I know there's people that are getting it and all this other stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm like, people complain about wearing masks. I'm like, I have to wear pants when I go outside. I'm like, I can't go without pants.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit of an inconvenience. I mean, you get used to it, but when they it was so weird when they ended it, and I could walk in the grocery store without a mask. I was going, oh man, this is great. What a difference.
Did they put a mask mandate back on yet?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of places now you have to wear a mask whether you're vaccinated or not. It just says all customers. They put the thing up, and that's just because this is California. It's different here.
I love the Karens that go in there and complain to stores. Well, it's a free country, but you know what's funny is it could be a free country all you want. They have the right to serve
everybody healthy.
Well, a person who owns a store has a right to refuse service to anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and that's actually where the county I'm from is the only county that didn't follow the guideline. So he feels that the reason it's spreading is because it's people going to gatherings and picnics, and the 4th of July weekend with all the gatherings, they had caused this outbreak of COVID. He doesn't feel it's in the grocery store or restaurants that it's spreading. So he's saying, no, you don't have to wear a mask. But now the state, that's why I said state-owned buildings and federal-owned buildings, you do, if you're not vaccinated, you're not going in. Everywhere else, most places, you could still go in. Some of our stores still say, if you're fully vaccinated, no mask needed. So our county is the only one. Benicia, there's a city down 20 minutes away. You have to wear a mask in all indoor facilities. So it's just different. California is weird. I'm sure you see it on the news.
Yeah, when I went out to California in November 2020, Utah had nothing. They were like, do whatever you want. And then Nevada, it was indoors. The casinos were really funny about it.
Right.
But then you get to California, you couldn't leave your car. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I was in the parking garage of the hotel, and I was the only one there. And I'm loading up on a cart, and a guy comes up to me with a badge. He was security and goes, "You got to put a mask on. You're outside." I was like, "What? You're the only one near me." And he goes, "You put a mask on." I'm like, "Fine." I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah, it's a lot different here. I don't even know how COVID could survive with all these fires we got.
I don't even know what's going on, man.
Yeah, the air quality here today was terrible. I mean, bad.
It's all around you.
Yeah, the Dixie Fire and the what's a Calder fire is about 60 miles east of me, and the other one's northeast about 150 miles. So when the wind shifts from east to west, the smoke just falls on us. Right now, Lake Tahoe has the worst air quality on the entire planet, in the world, they said.
Wow.
It's so bad there, they shut everything down. I have friends that live in, because that Caldera fire is going towards them. So it's burning up the crest, and all the smoke's rising and sitting right on Lake Tahoe. So they're actually on warning right now, because if that fire reaches them, it's only like 8-10 miles away, and it's burning towards them, and it's not good. You guys here at Lake Tahoe, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is that bad.
It's that bad. That's a bad. It's only 12% contained. It's burned 186,000 acres and destroyed 420 structures. The Dixie Fire has burned 800,000 acres. That's the size of
New York, right?
Bigger, yeah, it's bigger than New York, actually. So imagine the entire New York burning. Plus,
that's just insane. Because in 2020, when I was out there, I got to see the after effects of some of the fires.
Yeah, we were
and
evacuated
I got pictures
last year. We got evacuated. We
just
had people banging on our door at 4 a.m. The cops, you need to get out.
And some of the fires that were caused by stupidity.
Yeah, PG&E, or the stupidity, or Pacific Gas and Electric idiots that run our power grid here in the state. That most of those fires are caused by faulty wiring. When the wind blows, power line breaks, and that's when the fire. Did you hear the Paradise Fire back in 2019? Yeah, that was caused by a PG&E faulty wiring.
Oh, we lost sound.
Did you just get me?
There he is.
There you go.
Someone was trying to call me. I just
You know, Ed, you're saying that and you're mentioning them. Your lights are going to go off in about 5 minutes because the PG&E guy's on his way over to flick the switch to turn your power off.
He could. I dare him to come over here. Yeah, I wouldn't want to work for PG&E. There was a time where they were getting shot at in public because they were doing those power. They were shutting power off. They would do these power shut off. I mean, they shut an entire town off for 2 days because it got windy. So they figured, okay, if you guys are going to blame us for all the fires every time it's windy, we're shutting your power off. And
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, an entire town.
What?
They shut gas stations, restaurants. I was actually driving to Brian Cusco's one day, and this was last year, and I needed gas, so I pulled off in this town. The whole city was shut down. The traffic lights, everything. So I couldn't get gas. Everything was. I had to go to the next town.
It's like we're closed. The whole town's closed.
For 2 days.
What the hell?
All because of the wind. Yep. They're worried about them. Yeah. Do they still do that? That
was a flatland area, so it was not in any fire hazard area. They're just being asses. They do that on purpose because they've been sued. They've been brought up on murder charges for the Paradise Fire because 90 people died in that fire because of their faulty line that wasn't maintained. So
do they still shut the towns down like that?
They do, yeah. But they do more quick ones, like 3 hour. Because this year we've been lucky. There hasn't been wind this year. Have you seen a couple of those videos I did, right, Andy, where it was so windy?
Yeah.
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 50, 60, 70 mile an hour gusts. And that's what, if it was windy now, that fire that we're having right now, it would destroy Tahoe. It would literally burn right in through Tahoe and destroy everything. But the fact that there hasn't been wind, man, they are so lucky.
That isn't. You got a question that says that brings up a good point. What do you have for backup power for your animals?
0. I have nothing. So when we evacuated last year, the fact that we live in California, I didn't worry too much. Even in the wintertime, it doesn't get cold here. Last year we evacuated. I brought my wife and daughter to another city to a friend's. I came back and I snuck back in the neighborhood and I stayed in the house. So because I had tortoises outside, turtles outside, I did a whole video on it. I put it, I had my tortoises were covered in ash. I had to rinse them all off, bring them in the house, bring them in the garage, put them, it was warm enough because it was the middle of the summer, so I didn't have to worry about heat. But yeah, I had a small generator because my collection, everything is in my house. All my reptiles are in my house. I don't have them in an outdoor shed or anything like that. And like I said, because of our weather, we don't have extreme weather here.
Just fires. Just fires.
Yeah. And if a fire burns a house down, backup power isn't going to do me any good. The animals are gone.
No, that's when you had the problem with the was it a possum or a raccoon got in your yard?
I had both. I had a possum because of the fires bring these wild animals down. Possums, raccoons. We have coyotes. We have mountain lions out here. And the possum got two of my Central Americans and two of my red-eared sliders because I had them out in a natural pond in the backyard. And yeah, the possum just ate the legs off of the red-ears, my adult red-ears. Oh man, it was so heartbreaking and it was still alive.
No way.
No legs. Yeah. I know we're all supposed to love all animals, but when I have an animal come into my yard and kill, then we have a problem.
Yep,
yeah,
I'd agree with that
I understand that, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not, I can't risk my tortoise. I mean, the tortoises I don't think I'd have to worry about because those things are like armored shells and they weigh 40 pounds each. And they will chop in there. I mean, their armor is just solid on there. Or they have those spurs. So I don't think a possum or a raccoon would mess with a sulcata. But the Central American wood turtles and the red-eared sliders, they just grabbed them right out of the water.
I'll tell you what, he talks about he's got a backup generator here, but I'll tell you, calcium chloride in a plastic bottle like this, you only need a tiny bit of calcium chloride in here, and you fill the bottle up with some water, you mix it around, it gets to 110 degrees. You can wrap that in a paper towel and set it inside your enclosure for your animals.
I have a ton of heat packs. I mean, I keep at least 50, 60 heat packs all the time on standby. But when we did have our power was shut off because of that rolling power outage that PG&E does for probably 36 hours. It wasn't, I think it got down to 65 degrees outside. It probably, 70 in the house. It's not like what happened in Texas where that was a huge catastrophe when that freeze came over them. We're just not in that extreme weather. We don't get that in this part of California at all. Now you go 2 hours east, it snows, 100 feet, and below, 20,
wow.
10, 15 degrees below zero.
Oh, that ain't nothing, Ed. Yeah. You need to come here, Ed.
Oh, I'm just saying, just 2 hours away, the difference in temperature.
Yeah, it doesn't get cold here though.
Yeah, because we live in the valley.
It gets cold there, doesn't it?
Not my like Green Bay don't get cold.
Yeah, yeah. Wisconsin, you get snow all the time, right? In the winter.
I think it snows all year except for June and August.
Oh my God! Yeah, see, we don't see a dusting of that.
Well, I know here where I live at, it's on record that the only month that they have never had a measurable snowfall doesn't mean snowfall didn't happen, just measurable was in August.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Blue Canyon, which is just an hour and a half east of me, gets more snow than anywhere on the planet, from what I hear. That
really?
Yeah. Their average snow is more than anywhere else on the planet.
I will say, when I did the traveling through the Rocky Mountains, I would go up in the Rockies. It was 20 degrees, 15 degrees snow, right. And then I get to Utah. 90 degrees. I'm like, what? It's the same. What is going on?
It's crazy. Yeah, when these storms come off the Pacific, that Blue Canyon's right at that level, like it's 6,200 feet, where those storms just push against the Sierra Crest, and any moisture left in those clouds just dumps. right on Blue Canyon.
Wow.
That's why they say they have some word for it. But they get a crap load of snow.
You guys have tons of canyons all over out west.
Yeah, it's that's why we have that huge fluctuation in temperature. I could go I'm right between the Sierra Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Vacaville sits right in the middle.
Wow.
I could be at the ocean in an hour and a half. I could be in the Sierra Mountains in an hour and a half.
You can go both ways, just whatever you want to do that day.
Yeah, if I want to go to the snow, when it could be 110 degrees here, and I'll drive 20 minutes to Napa, it's only 80 degrees.
That's the strangest thing is that when I went to the Grand Canyon. It was really nice in the Grand Canyon. Go up through Utah, it was hot. Nevada, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, there's a lot of desert here. I mean, I think, didn't we hit the hottest record on Earth? The Mojave Desert hit 130 degrees like a month and a half ago.
That is
they measured
crazy.
130 degrees in the Mojave Desert or Death Valley.
You could cook food on the rocks.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why I don't trip about California's running out of water, we're in a drought. It's just it's the Earth has been rocking and rolling for millions of years. It's going through a cycle.
Exactly.
We're gonna get rain again. It's just
we got plenty of it. You want some?
Yeah, I wish. I know some of us say, we're getting ready for a hurricane. I said, blow it this way. We'd take a hurricane any day right now to put those fires out.
That's what the fires are just heartbreaking because all the land, everything getting just torn in half.
And people are being, losing their homes. And a lot of these people, when you watch them on the news, do not have fire insurance. So they can't even rebuild. They can't afford
That'd be the first thing.
Insurance.
The first thing I'd be like, I need that insurance.
Yeah.
I have a different picture when I was out there. It was near California, I would say Nevada, California border that had a bunch of trees, but they were burned up. And then it had baby trees growing. And I was like, this is the cycle, I guess.
Yeah, the Earth's receding itself. That's just what it does. And most of our fires last year were all start by lightning strikes. We had a freak spring or summer storm come through. It was just dry lightning strikes all up and down California. I think it started like 18 fires.
That's so insane.
Yeah, so it's natural. You can't stop Mother Nature. It's going to happen.
Good night, Wally. Wally is headed out.
Take care, Wally. I can't even see any comments or anything. So
I got you.
I'm sorry.
I got you. Yeah, we're going to have to tease Andrew when he gets back on.
Oh, see, I didn't even know Andy left.
Yeah, he's sitting there on the phone. We're going to tell him.
He's on the phone?
He's probably hearing us talking to one side, too. The canyons out there, I loved it. I would stop at every canyon lookout point, and I'd be the only idiot like, okay, I'm going to walk down there and look for snakes. I'd have people going, it's dangerous down there. I'm like, whatever, leave me alone.
It is beautiful here.
Sorry about that. That was my son.
Yeah. If I take a drive to like going to Cusco's house or I go see my buddy Ray at Euphoric Reptiles, I mean, you go from wine country to desert to valley to coastal. You drive past Pismo where you're right on the ocean. The state has so much beauty in here. It's just amazing. You're in the country 1 minute, on the coast 1 minute, in the wine country 1 minute. In the Sierras, it's just crazy, everything that's here.
I think California has a big mixture of everything.
Oh, it does. And that's why it's so expensive to live here. You're paying for the weather. And I know you see everything is on fire, but that's only been the last 4 years we ran into during this drought. And a lot of this is PG&E's fault. It's man-made. Whether there's dead trees or drought or not, these fires are caused by power lines falling down. Those idiots blew up a neighborhood 9 years ago, killed 7 people. A faulty gas line, PG&E. It just blew up. What? Destroyed an entire.
They got
sued for that. I mean, did you see that movie, Aaron Brockovich?
Yes.
That was about PG&E. They poisoned half of that town in Hinckley because they were pouring toxic chemicals into the water system, and they got cancer from drinking it. So she sued PG&E then. Those people have been on the chopping block going back 40 years.
And there's no competition.
No.
There's no one else you can go with.
No. There was Enron started coming out, but we all know what happened to Enron.
Bye-bye.
So that's, but yeah, and there's been talk about the federal government taking over PG&E because they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Yeah, and our we pay $400 a month to keep the lights on in this. Well, not anymore. Andy, you were asking about the power.
Yeah.
Because of the solar. Yeah, we looked since we've been here. It's $12.
Because you got solar panels, right?
Yeah, $12.
I am so tempted to get them because my southern part of my house here gets sun all day long.
Yeah.
Even in the winter, it gets sun all day long.
It makes a huge difference. It went from $350 a month to $12 a month.
How much was the investment for the solar?
Well, the guy that owned the house put them in. I think they run about $10,000. It's expensive, and they have financing for it and all that other stuff.
But if you think about it, $10,000, if you're running $300, $400 a month, 2 years is almost paid for.
It's paid for, yeah.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, especially in this state. Like you said, the sun's shining, 10 months out of the year. So it makes it worth it.
I just want to get a big windmill.
Yeah. That's a great power source for, just in case you lose power.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell. I want to do solar. I do small solar, and I can run like a computer off of it because I just got a small little solar setup. Right. I'm like, how much would I need to run the whole house?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't think not too much.
Because I wanted to mine Bitcoin. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to mine Bitcoin with solar power. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but it didn't pan out.
Bitcoin.
I was like, I just want to mine it, and then I'll make it. And then because I mine Dogecoin, but it's not worth it after how much you do the electrical bill and all that stuff. It's just not worth it. So I just buy it instead and buy the dips and sell at the highs.
Right.
Which I don't even know what it is right now. What is Bitcoin at, everybody?
I don't know. I don't follow that.
Yeah, I do Dogecoin and other side coins. The small. I can't afford Bitcoin. I'm not rich.
That's it.
Andrew's rich. Everything's up right now. I'm up today. I'm up to 6.7%.
I wish I was rich.
Andrew's
I bought a lottery ticket, so maybe what is? Oh yeah, Saturday's the lottery.
We're just gonna see Edby. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's like what happened? I won millions.
Yeah, I'll make a reptile so big you could fit 20 of bar checks in it.
Oh, geez. Did you see what he's doing?
No.
He's asking for help, which is fine. He needs $4 million.
For what?
For the aquatic edition.
Oh, Jesus.
$4 million. I'm sitting there like, $4 million? But now, I will tell you this. Barczyk is a businessman, and his wife is a totals numbers girl. She knows what and they do have it down. They have to have 100,000 people walk through the door to pay for this eventually.
Right.
$4 million is not a little bit of money.
No.
I'm sitting there like,
no.
I can't even fathom that much money.
Does he have the space? Is he going to put it in the same building?
Yeah, he's going to build a second story on it and put the aquarium on the top story.
Oh, wow.
And they got to do some reinforcements and stuff, whatever. I mean, the idea is good. I'm not friends with him anymore, but I watched the tube and I got friends that still talk to him.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's cool. He wants to do like a stingray petting pool, a shark tank.
We have a place like that here.
And I like the idea, but $4 million
that's a lot.
I was like, oh my Lord.
Well, tell him to take a loan out.
Thank you, Eric.
Take a loan out.
$4 million. I'll tell you what, I need 100,000. If you guys want to help me do something, send me $100,000. I'll be happy with that.
I'll be good. I'll be happy with 5.
I talked to Terry, Terry Phillip, and I asked him how much a zoo would cost me, and he goes, "Oh, a couple $100,000. You should be able to do it right, you know."
That's it.
And I'm like, $4 million. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
I was like, whatever.
Huge. I don't know if I'd want to put a loft on top with all that water weight, and when it comes to water, put it on the second floor. Ooh.
That I would have done the opposite. I would have moved it, but I guess they said there were some people suggesting to like move the whole thing into a new building.
Right.
And he goes, "It cost me more money," and I'm like, "More than $4 million?"
Well, I know from a structural standpoint, you never build down because he wanted to put it in the basement at first, but I know you never go down. You always go up. It's easier to build up on a building than it is down. But I don't know about water up there. You know, you have a major break up there. It could screw a lot of stuff up.
Find another building. And he lives in Michigan, right? He's in Michigan.
Yeah, he's not far from Detroit. I'm sure there's plenty of empty buildings in Detroit.
There's got to be a Toys R Us somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's it. I have a friend that actually bought a Toys R Us building and put a printing company in it.
I mean, I'm not on his level, okay? Just if you want to educate people, $4 million, there's so much more that can be done with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not me. It's not. I mean, if people give him $4 million, I give him $4 million. I mean, I can never ask people, say, "Hey guys, I want to start a business. Give me money to start it."
Yeah, I know. I wish I could do that. I did. Yeah, I did mine on my own.
Yeah, it's like, well, guys, I want to breed dubia roaches, and there's a $10,000 all these colonies for $10,000.
Exactly.
Just give me money to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I just spent that on the new order paper. Yeah, 10,200.
You said 4 tons? Was it 4 tons?
4 tons. Yeah. So I got this time I got because I'm trying to get above the minimum. The minimum used to be 10, which is 5,200.
That's a lot of 20.
Paper. Yeah. So the mill's already got a second order being made for me. My next order should be here Wednesday, and then I'll have another one right behind it. This way I don't never run out again. And I got it a little cheaper. So
you are doing it. You're moving the paper. You're moving it.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And Justin's a big name. I mean, I remember when he was small. I remember when he was nothing.
I mean, he's not. It's the smaller guys that are keeping me busy.
That's cool.
That's the people that are buying it. You said Reptile Jim, Riley's Reptiles, Euphoric Reptiles, all these guys that are just and I mean people that I don't even know. But most of my customers are coming out of Florida, New York, Texas. Hardly any in California. But most of them are in other parts of the U.S. But I got people reaching out to me from the U.K., Australia. I had one guy from Africa reach out to me.
That's kind of cool.
If I could somehow get, and he was a veterinarian. He was actually a vet. So he has this big animal clinic in Africa, which was really neat.
And then you got your brother in England.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants to be a partner. I said, okay, I've been doing this 4 years and I don't know how much money at least 50,000. I've invested in not only that, plus the backbreaking work, because I'm doing this myself, the cutting, running the equipment, packing it, shipping it. I don't have employees. It's just me.
Well, he wants to be a partner now.
Oh yeah, and he's out of his mind. He and it's funny because he goes, I want 10,000 of the FB 10s and 10,000 of the 40s. Okay, so I sent him an invoice. Never heard from him again.
Oh, so he just wanted you to give him.
Yeah, and a lot of these big guys want it free, and I'll do a video or they'll do something in return, but no, it seems like they don't want to pay for it.
Why not pay for it and do a video and help someone out?
That's the point.
I know. You got Barczyk asking for $4 million. I'm just saying, hey, buy my product. I produce it. It's me. It's not like it's coming in from overseas and I'm just putting my name on it and saying it's mine. this is
You did the research, you doing the cutting,
I
you're doing it all.
manufactured it. Yeah, and I've been in the printing industry 40 years, so I have connections with the mills. I
That's
know
cool.
people I've been working with 25 years at the paper mills. So yeah, that's
If you go to his Facebook page, you could see him actually doing the cutting and
I
stuff.
put
of these.
videos up all the time. Me running
Yeah, I've been
machines.
watching your videos. I did like
that's-
today. I'm just like, oh, let's watch all these.
And that's the reason I do those. I just want the people to see it's me putting in the work. Because some guy made a comment, oh yeah, you bring that pay, you just get it from Uline and you have someone else do this to it, and you sell it for 10 times more. Dude, I'm not doing that.
First off, 10 times more. I don't know that they're cheap.
I wish
They're-
it was 10 times more.
I don't think your product's expensive.
It's not. I mean, when you buy these, and even when because I could tell when customers I probably have a total of maybe 200 customers that repeat order that have been buying for going back 3 years. And I could tell that sometimes, like Riley, I give him a pack of 250. He won't need liners for 6 months. I mean, they last a long time. You'd be surprised when you put a stack. I mean, here's a stack of 250 right here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a stack, and this is how I pack them. So I pack them in this heavy board, and then I use strapping tape, and then I put them in a box and ship them. So even the way I pack them, I want to make sure they're not damaged. They're packed really nice. They're counted on a mailing machine, so I know exactly what's in the pack. I'm not just saying, hey, I guess that's 250. And plus, I always throw extra in there anyways, just in case the top and bottom ones get damaged somehow from the tape. But yeah, and then you just take the front tape out and you pull them out like that. But all that packing and the packing material, I spend thousands on that every month. Buying the boxes, the tape. These flat boards, I bring them in pallets, from this way, top and bottom. Freedom Breeder actually wants to put it on their website. So me and Jesse have been trying to work out.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, they want to sell them on their website. And so they, last time I talked to Jesse, I actually drove down to Freedom Breeders, and we're just trying to work out numbers on how, we both could benefit with him doing it. And because for me, and that's why I double ordered, because I know if Jesse does put these on it, they're going to sell even crazier.
You're going to be cutting all day long.
Yeah. So what I want to do is mass produce rather than, when I run out of these, I'll run, 1,500 more. I want to run 10,000 more of each size. Because right now there's 15. Is there 15 sizes between Freedom Breeder and ARS? So that's, I have to put these dies. Some of the dies I could gang together, the smaller dies for the hatchlings, I could put on the machine at the same time. I just have to cut the sheet bigger, and I'm running, two. I think I even did a video showing that. The two dies. Actually, it was an ARS and an FB10 together on the same machine.
Working smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly. So when I run 1,000, I'm running 1,000 of 2, getting it done twice as fast. So the FB5s, I made a 2-up die. So I'm doing those 2 at a time as I'm running them to bang them out. But I could keep up with any amount. Those machines run so freaking fast. And I could cut. Jesse was concerned, can you keep up with it? Yeah, I could keep up with it. These machines, I run hundreds of thousands of, we printed and stitched and cut 12 million ballots for the election. These liners are nothing. It's blank paper. I just blow through this stuff.
The paper is heavy to keep you young.
Yeah, that's it. It does. The paper is heavy. Lifting it since I was 10 years old, I started.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because my dad owned a company, and we just worked there. That's how I got into the printing. He had his own business, printing business with machines, and I was set machines by the time I was 12.
Way back in the day, I used to get end rolls from a newspaper.
Uh-huh.
And I used that. That's what I was using for all my big snakes was end rolls. And I would just take and tear it. I didn't care at the time,
Yeah.
But it was so messy because it was torn. It didn't fit the thing right.
Yeah, 'cause I'll use the end rolls for packing, for like packing material.
Okay.
So actually, that's what I use when I have these liners. I mean, when you order these, I'll pack them, and I pack them so good so they don't even move.
Yep, I've got a box.
You could drop them off an airplane, and they're not going to be damaged. Because I know how FedEx and UPS throw stuff around. They're, the corners. I don't want the corners to bend. I just want everything clean.
Yeah, UPS and FedEx are
when the customer gets the liners. So I put a lot of work in working countless hours.
That's why you're succeeding.
It's not nonstop every day. And it's all money out of my pocket. It's not a loan. It's not a credit card. I'm not borrowing money. It's not Patreon. It's me. 100%. So that's
maybe you should do a GoFundMe for a couple $1 million and
I couldn't even do it. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I like to earn my money. I don't.
If it's for like stuff for like prizes and this and that, it goes back. I can understand it, but to do a business and say, "Hey, GoFundMe, I got this idea. You pay for it, and then I'll keep the money."
Yeah, that's exactly. Because I had a very successful printing business for going 12 years. It was just my own, but printing is a declining industry. It is tanking fast.
You should do the reptile stickers. Just advertise the reptile stickers.
I know. I have done some. I actually did some really nice cards for Earl at Lone Star.
That's an Ed sticker.
And actually, it was a nice big postcard. I did postcards for Earl. They were nice, big 6x9, 4-color. All he did was send me photos of snakes. I designed it for him, typesetted it. I sent him 4 different layouts so he could pick which one he likes. He changed a couple things. I made the changes. He actually did 4 different versions. So I printed 500 of 4.
I'm telling you, them reptile stickers are hot for people right now.
Yeah, I can do anything. And that's mostly what I do. I print marketing material. I don't print newspaper. I do for the wineries, all the newsletters, brochures. I do all the high-end stuff.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, newspaper is garbage. That's just, and I mean, we have the web presses that run newspaper, but everything we do comes off a sheet fed. It's just the really nice high-end printing.
That's cool.
And I've been in it since I was a little kid. So I'm a machinist, sales. I've done it all. I did last 6 years. I was just doing brokering. I had so many customers, Scheid Vineyards, Peju, and then I was printing for all the Morimoto restaurants. I don't know if you know the Iron Chef Morimoto.
Yes.
Yeah, I did all his printing, his design for every restaurant around the world. Dubai, Doha, South Beach, China, Europe, New York, Napa.
You're famous now.
All of them.
That is cool as can be.
Yeah. All his menus. He had 7 different menus, all different sizes. I designed all his menus. Even the material I used for his menus, I had to get out of Italy. I had to do all that stuff. Had part of it done in Canada. Then I would finish up here. But I handled all that shit.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, COVID hit. Everything closed. And actually, his Dubai restaurant shut down. And it was only open for 2 years.
I hate COVID.
So it hurt. That COVID hurt a lot of people. I was one of them. I mean, it destroyed the printing industry because everybody now they're working remotely. They're using social media and the internet to do all their marketing now rather than print.
Yep. Digital marketers make a lot of money.
A lot of money. So it just killed it. And that's why this now, I mean, I still have friends that own big printing companies and I'll help them out once in a while when they need it. Because I'm a really good machinist. So when they need me, if guys go on vacation or the machine breaks down, I'll fix it. I'll help them. So I do little stuff like that still on the side. But this part's my passion, the reptile shows and the parties. I have a couple of parties booked in about 2 weeks up in Sac that I'm going to do. I even have this one company that wants to join with me. He does all the bouncy stuff. So he has 4 of those big bouncies that they blow up and the kids jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent me photos, and he's asking if I could share that on my website, and put that in as, if you want to book this too, you could get the reptiles and the bouncy. I even work with a bakery. That's a girl that owns a bakery. She does custom cookies and cupcakes. So I put that on my website. So if you want, what I do on my website, when you get a party on there, you have to tell me what your child's favorite reptile is, how many kids, if it's a boy or a girl, how old, and then I'll make the cookie. I'll design the cookie or cupcake. If it's a turtle, I'll make the turtle-shaped cookies. I send the info to the bakery, and she makes the custom-cut cookies for me. I mean,
That
they're
is
cool. They're really, artwork. You don't even want to eat them. They're so good looking.
That is cool as can be.
So I just want to do something different than just bring, here's some animals the kids play with. So I try to add a little bit extra for the kids, because kids get bored fast, even with reptiles. So I try to do a little bit extra, think of different ways that you can, supplement income. I don't want to grab all my eggs out of one basket anymore.
That's right. You can't do that way.
Because, printing industry really hurt. Been doing it so long, and that's all I've known my whole life. And I just took that with the paper part, and I said, how can I bring the reptile industry into the printing industry? And that, like you said, I was thinking about the sticker thing and the business cards. Not a ton of money in that, unless, I had hundreds of people coming to me with business cards, and I could gang run. Let's say you, Andy, and 20 other guys wanted business cards. So I could get the paper, and I gang run all 20 cards on one sheet, and I run them all at once.
That makes sense.
That's when you make the money. It doesn't help when you're just doing one or two people, because that's what Vistaprint does. I'm sure you heard of Vistaprint.
Yeah, that's where I get my business cards now.
Okay, well, Vistaprint is just a big, giant warehouse with a big, giant press. And they have a 40-inch, what they have is a 40-inch Komori. I know what Vistaprint has. And so they could put 80 business cards on one sheet, 80 different ones they could lay out on a sheet. So they'll put your card with 80 other customers, and that's why they could charge $10 1,000 for cards. And everybody, Vistaprint's cheap. Why can't you do it? Because I don't make my money off business cards. I'm not a business. I could print them, but I don't I don't have 80 customers that need business cards. And that's why they're more expensive with other printers, because you're dealing with a more high quality printer, because Vistaprint only allows you a certain amount of paper, different types of stock they use.
Yeah, they're not that much. I mean, these aren't, that's my card. And they're not, I don't know how to explain it. They feel different. They feel cheaper.
Right. So you could tell me, Ed, I want to put my paper on satin with a felt finish. You could tell me anything you want to do, and I'll do it to your exact description. Vistaprint will not do that. That's how they make money. They give you a certain amount of choice, but the range is much smaller than what I can give you.
And then when you choose one thing, like, other options just go away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or they'll say but then when you get your cards, you're going, I didn't order these. This ain't the paper. This ain't the color. Wineries come to me and go, hey, Ed, we have 1,000 quick, postcards we want to do for an event. It's not high quality, but, here's the PMS color. Can you get it done? Yeah, but then they see the price. Oh, my God, well, Vistaprint could do this. Okay, well, take it to Vistaprint. A week later, they call me, Ed, we need you to do that. But I thought you sent it to, he goes, we did. But they used the wrong PMS color and put it on the wrong stock. So they screwed it all up because...
And they don't do nothing about it when you email them either.
Nope.
They don't care.
No refund, nothing. So it was $180 they lost, but now they have to spend $800 on me doing it the right way.
Ed made these stickers for me, okay? And I'll tell you one good thing about these stickers. They're put on paper that you would put on a bottle because they're winery stickers.
That's lyric.
They don't come off. You stick them on something, it ain't coming off.
That's lyric. That's what the wineries use. Lyric. That's a certain stock of paper that lyric is a popular stock that the wineries use.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I know everything about paper, ink, all that different thing. It's in my blood. And that's why I know this paper is much better than you. Newsprint's not even good to use. Blank newsprint is full of bleach, toxins. That's why it smells funny. All the old days when you would smell the paper at school, it had that weird, those are chemicals.
Yeah, but that was fun when you were a kid, though, and you'd sit there.
It's like smelling a marker. Ooh, you get high off it because they're full of chemicals. This is virgin stock. It has no chemicals. That's what I try to explain to people, and I have so many. It's frustrating because a lot of people think, "Oh, you're just marking up craft paper." I mean, even I don't want to say his name, but Andy might know who I'm talking about. He goes, "You're just using grocery bag paper."
Wait, grocery bag paper?
That's what he said. I said, "This is not grocery," and he wanted me, but you should put designs on it, because this guy is a marketing guy, and he has a degree in marketing, so he's trying to tell me how I should present this liner, and I was telling him, look, I know about marketing because I'm in printing. That's what I do. It's marketing.
Yeah.
And I deal with huge companies. So yeah, you might have a degree, but I actually have been in the mix since I was a little kid. And why should I add stuff to a product which is going to increase the price of it? I mean, I could cold foil my CMC logo on there if I wanted. Why would I do that when a snake's going to crap on it?
There's no point to it.
Yeah.
I can make it look cooler and add stuff to it, but you're going to be paying $2 a piece for the liners. And who's going to buy those?
But they're pretty now.
and like Bob said, paper's not white. They bleach it, right? Meaning they bleach it and stuff to make it white.
Oh,
yeah. Paper's not white. I mean, even when you go to the store, you buy the coffee filters. They have the natural ones and the white ones. And even the natural ones say better tasting coffee because you're not running it through a bleached piece of paper.
Yep.
That's awesome. See?
So that's the whole thing. And what's better than using raw material that's, you could spray it, the snake could pee on it, and it's going to be a clean environment all the time for these guys. So I love it. I use it. I've been using it for years now. And the other thing before I started using this, I'd use Forest Floor, Reptile Prime, which I loved. I actually liked using Reptile Prime. And I would at least get 2 or 3 RI infections. I had probably 130 ball pythons at that time, and at least 2 or 3 a year. My adults would get RI infections. It like clockwork. Since I started the paper, not one.
That's a win.
Yeah. Not one. So I think part of it is because of the bacteria that builds up. Even when a snake poops and pees on the forest floor or cocoa stuff, you don't realize that urate spills to the whole bottom of the tub. You don't see that. You don't see the snake roll over its poop and then crawl all over the thing and then spread little bits of,
and when you got the paper, it's all gone.
The paper, you just throw it out, put a new one in. So that's what I like about it. And I have a small enough collection where it makes it easier for me. Smells good in here.
I loved it with the I loved using it with the leopard geckos because when you put them in them tubs, that just real easy to pop out.
I got the tegu on it. The boa is on it.
It's just so simple.
Yeah, all my big animals are on it. So it just works out. I got them in these 4-foot enclosures. Let's see if you can see that right here. Can you see the enclosures?
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wrong button. There we go.
Here we go. But that's right where the blue tongue is right there. I don't know if you can see it, probably dark, but yeah, they fit nice in these enclosures here.
Yeah, they fit perfect in there.
I mean, there's even urate right there with the blue tongue poop, but it's dry. It's all dry. He's thinking it's food time. So.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up?
That's what
Look
I
at
love
him. He's
about
all
this.
happy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I tongue feed all these guys, so they just come out, and that's just the way they are.
He's like, "Are you gonna feed me?"
Yeah. Yep.
I thought we were friends.
That's it.
Bob said more people need to hear about this. This is why we got him on here, because this is very, this is a good product.
Well, you're actually the first person, Andy, to ask me to come on a podcast, because no one's ever asked me.
This is actually a really cool product, and like you said, it would change the way that cleaning goes, the health of the animal.
Yeah,
Yep.
it does. I mean, like I said, you see those things. They have the carpet things at and I know what's his name, TSK. Is that it, Andy?
Yeah,
Yes,
TSK.
yeah.
Yep.
He has a cardboard version. I mean, it's cardboard. It's actually this stuff. It's the shit that I use. This stuff. He actually made liners for like the Vision, for not with the hole cut, but just for the flat tubs.
Yeah.
And then he had them die cut where there's latches on the corners. But from what I hear, and I talked to him, Dan Sutherland, he hates them. He said the weight is crazy. So he has them manufactured somebody else. The cost, the weight. And I sent him samples of my stuff, but I never heard back from him after that. That was probably a year ago.
What? Yeah. I like them, though. I think they're great. They're great. Yeah,
everybody loves them. Brian Cusco loves them. Brian Cusco even said these things are like crack. Once you try them, you don't want to. You got to keep using them. Riley GX3 Reptiles uses them on their own collection, and I'll be actually making them for his custom cages when he starts building. That's awesome. He wants to sell them in his store. So, and like Jesse wants them to have an option of, cocoa. He has the cocoa, and then he has the option of paper if some customers want to use paper. I'd actually like to do the same thing, is put an option of a cocoa substrate on my website too. So people have both options. People that don't want paper, they got cocoa, because you can't use it on everything. No. Some people just don't like paper. Some, which is fine.
Bob brought up a good point too. The corrugated board has glue in it, so that's
and corrugated is made from recycled material.
Yeah,
it's all made from recycled.
Now your papers, you can put them in tubs and put cocoa on top of it and make it easier to clean up.
That's what I got in the Tegu cage. I have cocoa on top of the liner. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. I do it to my Uromastics. I got the liner on the bottom, and then I use that the walnut shell stuff, the desert blend.
Yeah.
On top. And those liners I put in the Uromastics, same liners I put in 2 years ago. I haven't even pulled them out. They're the same liners. 2 years they've been in there. So the nice thing about Euros and using that desert blend, and I have a lot of rocky terrain in there too. I mean, it's like a cat litter. So when they poop or pee or anything, you just pick it up, and then I put new sand in there. But it's the same liners that are in there that I installed 2 years ago. Same ones. This stuff is durable, and I think it's, my opinion, it's the safest, cleanest way to keep any reptile that you want to put on a paper product. It's safer than using anything else. If you don't want your animals swallowing pieces of bark, or, especially when you have these snakes that are eating off, cocoa. If you feed frozen thawed, the rats are always wet, that stuff sticks to them. The snakes ingest all that stuff. And again, with mites and springtails, white flies, you don't get none of that with the paper. So that's the other plus with this stuff. And it has its good points, its bad points. If you're going to have to work a little harder, maybe. I think the finance part, it's cheaper compared if you had to buy Cocoa Block, or I don't want to keep using Jesse's product because he has a great product, but Forest Floor, you buy bags of that. I was buying Forest Floor, oh my God, by the pallets. And I was probably spending $3,500 to $4,000 a year
Yeah, like
on
Bob
Ford
just.
Ford.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Bob
the
said,
paper,
yeah, it's flat and it makes so much nicer and neater. You know, he made a comment up here. I forgot to mention it earlier. He says if you're like a neat freak, it's brown, it's flat, it's easy to, and it's perfect for it. So that's why Bob thinks it's cool.
And I cut it clean all four sides, so it's just manufactured nice and clean, fit your enclosure perfect. And the good point, and he says you're neat, that the guy Jim at Reptile Jim, he even told me, he goes, yeah, I'm kind of OCD the way I keep my animals clean, and he goes, I love this paper because it's cut so perfect on the ends and it just places right in his tub. And then he's friends with Dean from Dean's Rodents and Reptiles. And Dean just put in a big order. I just shipped his order last week for the FB10s, which he's, he lives down in Southern California. So people like that buy the product, to me, it's just a win, because those are guys who've been in the business a long time. And if they're telling me they love it, that's what I like hearing.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I like about it is when you wet it, like if you squirt the tub down.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't deteriorate or nothing. It absorbs it and then it slowly releases it and it dries and you can.
Yeah. It dries. So it does the same thing with pee. And I know in different areas are going to be different. If you're living in Florida, the humidity is a lot higher. You might have issues of it not drying. I don't know. But the people in Florida, my biggest clientele is coming out of Florida. Most of my customers are from Florida, so they must love it, and they keep ordering it.
Well, there you go.
To me, I sent some to Dave. I just sent Dave Palumbo some ARS hatchlings because I sent him some flat ones a while back. So I noticed on his videos he uses the ARS, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, Dave." He goes, "Yeah, cool." So he actually said he's waiting for some snakes to pee and poop on him, and then he's going to do another video on the.
It's like waiting for the pee.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I texted him. I said, "Hey, are they working out for you?" He sent a laugh. He said, "LOL." He goes, "I'm waiting for a couple of them to pee and poop on it." So I can do a video. Yeah. So I told him. But that's the whole thing. I want to get the input from everybody on how they like it, or if they have an idea where I can change the shape or make the sides bigger, whatever. I've already changed dies for people that ask me to. You're willing to order some, I'll make you a new die. And I'll pay for the die. If you're going to order, I just did the ones without the cup holder for the V18s. I didn't have those. A guy goes, "Hey, do you have I want the V18s with all four sides. I just don't want the two sides like you have on your website." And I said, "Well, what are you going to order?" He's, "I'll order 500. I said, "Okay, I'll make the die." And I did it for him. So
now, I forget what I was going to say. I got lost there. Thought when you were saying that. Huh. Yeah, they're good. I like them because I think they're great. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I could shape them any way you want, and I'm open to any suggestions that people have. Maybe a different idea.
Do you have a place for people to rate reviews on your product?
You go to actually Google. And I actually really try to encourage people to do that. If you search me on Google, my name pops up everywhere, and you can actually leave. It's like Yelp. You can actually leave reviews on there. I got like 20. I have a 5-star. I mean, there's only 25 reviews, but they're all 5 stars.
25 is awesome.
Yeah. So I think the last one was Reptile Jim left one, I think, because he loves them. And when he told me, and I know that guy's really picky about how he cares, because he's really, on
OCD about it.
Yes, and the fact that he loves them, and he just ordered full sheets. So I actually met him halfway because he lives in Riverbank, California, which is about 3 hours away. And I delivered his first delivery to him because it was a pretty big order. I didn't want him to have to pay for shipping. So I drove it to him. I'll do things like that. And that's the thing. You're not going to find a company. I try to get real personal with the customer and take ideas and anything they need, and I'll do it. It's not like, If you don't see it on my website, hey, screw you. I don't care. You know, if you have an issue with the shipping cost, I'll work with you. No company's going to do that. No company. You can't call a company and say, hey, can you cut my thing to 12 and 11/16 by 10 and 5/8?
Well, one thing you told me, if somebody has a tub and they're not sure the exact size because they roll up sometimes or whatever, if they send you the tub,
Yeah,
you could cut it. You'll cut it to fit the tub.
Yep, I'll cut it. Or if you could send me the code number to the tub, I'll buy it. Because we have the Container Store here in Sacramento. And I could buy almost any size. And I've done it. I've went up. Some guy had a tub I never heard of. And it actually went with the AP cages. So I went to the Container Store, bought the 2 sizes he need, and I cut it to match. And again, nobody's going to. I didn't ask him to pay for the tubs. I bought them. I mean, I figure if I get a new customer doing that, I'll do it. So, and I did the same thing in my printing industry. I appreciate everybody that buys these liners. I appreciate all my customers and anyone that supports this. And I'll go above and beyond to do whatever they need me to do to make it work for them. You know, even if it's not, and I know I try to like bang these out as fast as I can, but there's sometimes I get overwhelmed with orders. I might run out of a certain size and I got to run to Napa or Sacramento and cut them and, you know, shape them and make a new die or whatever I have to do to get them out. You know, I had one guy just order the FB90s, which sell horribly. And I'm glad I only made 500 of those almost a year ago. I just sold the last of them. He ordered 200 and I only had 100 left. So I had to run up to Sac, you know, bring the die, cut the stock to fit on the machine. So sometimes it takes a few days before I can ship them out. But I usually bang them out in a couple of days once the order's made. But I did run out of paper there for a while. And I think I had 47 orders backed up. And some of those people had to wait like 6 weeks for their orders. And only one person asked for a refund. Everybody else was really cool and understanding. And said, yeah, Ed, we understand, because I just went through that same crap everybody else is going through. Oh, there's a shortage. You know, it's just taking a long time. So this time I ordered right away. Right when that last order came in, I burnt through it so fast because I had so many back orders. I had to call the mill and say, hey, send me another 10 and then have 10 follow it, you know, a week later. So I got 20,000, 4 tons of paper coming in.
There's so much paper.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you got to have a 5,000-pound forklift just to lift one pallet. Because I have a Big Joe. The thing I was lifting it started tipping. Because it's so heavy. I mean, this stuff is heavy. I mean, heavy. And the edges, the fact that it's fresh milled, before I trim it, the edges are like razor blades until I get it trimmed. I mean, I have so many cuts on my hand. You just barely touch it. It rips through your fingers. I mean, it is like
paper cuts.
Oh God, the worst. It's like, I'd rather be bit by a retic.
He's gonna come like this. He goes, I got new paper. I'm gone.
If somebody's got a finger in your order, please send it back.
Yeah. So if you get some blood on your liners, that's what it's from. It's good as Sicilian blood. It's all good.
You do this. It's like a Saw movie, you know. This is the paper cut section.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, I actually have a load of the V18s, which are the FB8s with no cup, in my car that I'm going to pack and start shipping out over the weekend. I got like 5 orders to get packed and shipped. But yeah, I'm averaging probably 15 to 17 orders a week.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, it's coming on here picks it up.
Yeah, and I'm a no name. Nobody knows me. It's just off the website and word of mouth from customers that have bought it, and you know, people are nice enough to post it on their Instagram and give me shout outs. That's the best way to sell, is just everybody word of mouth, kind of spreading the word, saying they like it, because everybody's kind of cautious about buying it. You know, they don't know if it's going to be, is it going to work? Or, I mean, I have one guy in Florida that actually, he loves this stuff so much. He's got the ARS racks. I overnighted him 55s because he just brought in a huge collection of ball pythons. He bought like 30 ball pythons. And he said they came in with mites. Oh. So he has to put everything on paper. He goes, I have the 55s. Can you send those? I need them right away. I says, well, overnight. So I packed his 55s, ran to FedEx, had them overnighted to him. So he got them next day air. And
that was cool of you.
Yeah. And then he calls me back. He goes, Ed, I need these for everything. He goes, I need them for the ARS 70s. I said, well, I don't have the ARS 70 and I don't think I'm going to make it. He goes, why not? Because nobody orders the ARS 70. The 50 and the 55 are the new FB 40s. Just like you don't see too much of the FB 70 because Jesse replaced it with the FB 40. That's like the new tub for the big ball pythons. So that's the hottest selling one. And he says, well, how much does it cost? And I told him, look, it's going to be like $700 to make the 70, do the die line. And then it's going to eat through my pay. He goes, send me an invoice. I'll pay for it. I mean, that's how much he wanted me just to get him the FB70s.
Wow.
That's how much he likes the paper. And this is a guy that was a well-known breeder. And I think he lost his collection in a fire. Like 6 years ago. He was telling me the story and he's just now getting back into it. So I didn't send him the invoice. I don't want people's money like that. So I said, I'm going to get the tub. I'll order the tub from ARS and I'll make the damn die and get him his liners. But just like that, I mean, and that number was probably high, 700. Yeah. I was just trying to scare him away I don't want to do this. But if he wants them that bad, I could have said, yeah, I'll send you the invoice. Give me the $700, but I didn't. I'm going to do it on my own. And I'll
rock it out.
I'll get him his liners. You know, I could do like bar check and ask for,
$4 million. I got to build a die. I need $4 million.
I need to build a die. My goal is $700.
I mean, I can understand when you run a zoo, though, you can adopt an animal and, donate money for that animal or something.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's a business venture and it's
it is. And it's your investment. I mean, anytime, even if you went to an investor, you go to an investor and you want to borrow money from an investor, right? He's going to ask you first, how much of your money have you already invested in it?
Exactly.
He doesn't want to just see you borrowing money from everybody. It's because I've actually went to a professional. I went to a website that these guys were like Shark Tank guys.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Told them my idea with the papers. And I more wanted their insight and better ways to market it since it was a brand new product in an industry I'm not that familiar with because I don't have, 20, 40 years experience in the reptile trade. I've only been doing it for 7-8 years. I don't have all that experience. My name's not big. So I'm trying to think of ways to best market it. I'm sure if Brian Barczyk put his face on my liners, everyone would buy them. Even if it was a piece of shit with poison on it, they would still buy them because his face was on it. That's what I mean. And here I'm not recognizing it is the safest product you could buy. And
he has a bag of cocoa fiber.
Yeah. Oh, it's got rat poison, but Brian's face is on it. It's okay.
I told you, Ed, when you first told me this 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when you first came out with these, I said it's sooner or later they're going to take off and they're going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's getting there, but I know it could be with the amount of people in this interest and just in this country, not counting the UK where my brother lives, but just
business partner.
Because here is where this is where it started here in the United States. It didn't start in Canada or Europe. This started here. Brian Barczyk, Kevin McCurley, Greg Graciani. I mean, all these top guys that been doing it. Colin Weaver, guys you probably never heard of. Colin Weaver is a huge breeder back when McCurley was coming up. he actually supplied Outback Reptile with a lot of their animals. And I purchased a lot of my big females from Colin Weaver, East Coast breeders. He was a huge name, but he just never did social media. He stayed out of that. And he's the one that kind of gave me insight on how to breed rats, because he had a huge rat colony. Because of health issues, he had to get out of it. And I bought a lot of his female stock.
Wow.
I spent thousands, but you don't hear about these guys because they're not social media. You think, oh, I don't know if they're a good breeder or if they're a good guy or not, because he doesn't have 50 million followers on YouTube.
Brian was that way at one time. Brian was no one knew who he was. He was a big ball python breeder, but he wasn't on social media.
Yeah,
and he did snake bites. That's what it was called.
I used to love those videos. I actually like those better, the old ones.
Because I remember sitting on his couch one time at BHB. This was his old place, and it was, I want to say, in the middle of season 1. Right. We were talking about bringing my venomous there.
Oh wow!
And Lori is like, "Hell no, it ain't happening." She goes, "It ain't happening." And then I went there. I took my wife there, and there was a person that came from Puerto Rico to see Brian. But Brian was out on a trip, so I gave the tour of his facility.
Oh, wow. Right on.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. I have Sam, which she's still on my Sam and Josh, and I had them take care of my kids and my wife, and they were playing with animals, and I was taking this guy around showing him the facility. And then when I see Lori goes, "Hi, Gary." So I'm like, whatever. I'm just opening up tubs, showing him what he's got. And the guy goes, "This is it." I'm like, "Let's go to another room." What? Yeah, let's go to the colubrid room now, and then the colubrid room, and then
right.
I mean,
he's a good dude. I mean, I reached out to Brian when I first started this, and I was watching his old videos. I sent him an email and just said, "Hey, I'm new. I would love some advice." He called me about 3 days later. He talked to me for an hour and a half and gave me some good advice. I've got to talk to Kevin McCurley. I've bought tons of animals from Brian. I've bought a lot of animals. My whole male stock came from Kevin McCurley.
Kevin is a monitor whisperer.
I love him.
And the guy people will put down him, but the guy knows more about reptiles than we all know together. He's forgotten more.
Yeah.
The guy just looks at it different.
I got both of his books. I mean, I love Kevin, and
and he truly loves animals.
Everything.
Like
Everything.
the rat, a rat. He'll sit there and be like, "Oh, look at this rat." And he'll play with the rat.
Yeah.
And Brian's the same way. But the difference between Brian Barczyk and Kevin is you see his life because he puts it out there.
Yeah.
You see everything.
Kevin doesn't like that. You can tell Kevin likes to stay out of that. I know his new crew's kind of pushing him to do the social media because they're teaching him, hey, this is how you market your business.
But I don't think he likes it.
He doesn't like it, I guarantee you. But you just tell him, if you want to make awareness and people aware, you have to do it.
No.
I don't like social media that much. And I know to market that's why I started YouTube and Instagram. It wasn't to build a channel and a huge volume. It was to market my business. Yep. People buy from you, or if someone's going to hire you for a show or anything like that, basically that's the whole thing. They're going to want to, they could go online and say, hey, this guy's legit. He's okay. They could at least see on social media.
Exactly. Yeah, I try to tell people that all the time. Social media is a double-edged sword. You got to be on it.
Yeah,
but there's so much negativity. Another person before he's passed away now is Don Hamper. Don Hamper was a big part of he started Reptile Expos.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And people are like, who's he? And I'm like, really? I mean, seriously?
We understand it. Most of the people are younger than we are now, though.
Right.
I'm just like Tom Crutchfield. I mean, if it wasn't for Tom, I know he has a background, but we wouldn't have half the stuff we do.
Nope.
No.
I mean, these people that people are putting down today, I'm like,
Strictly Reptiles too. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have anything we have today.
Strictly still get stuff that I'm like, how in the world you got that? That's what I'll say on their list.
I know.
Wow. Strictly Reptiles. I still get their list to this day.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
emails all the time.
They're cool.
And I'll just look at it like, well, where did you get that? That's what I say. But
that's kind of
Sherry?
how Ryan is from Underground. He's the same way. He gets all those cool field collected animals, frog and toad and just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
And I've never had an issue with buying from him ever. And I know
Bob, thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, it's getting it's almost 11 o'clock for us today.
Yeah.
Over a year, yeah.
Yeah, you're what at like 8, 9?
Yeah,
9.
yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, the Strictly Reptiles, the Underground, the Hampers, the McCurleys, the Barchecks, Brian Potter.
Oh yeah,
Brian Potter and Ashley.
Yeah,
when Ashley was selling books at the Columbus show, he would bring all his literature, and he would be selling them books. And I grew up at the Columbus, Ohio show, and the Brian Barcheck, Mark and Kim Bell was setting up there because Mark and Kim Bell's from Michigan. Most people don't know that. They're from Michigan, and Ashley was there selling his stuff. And I was just a young punk kid, 15, 16 years old, running around there going, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Wow. I accidentally bred carpet pythons back in 95.
Wow.
And they were so kind. I took my 17 carpet pythons there, and every person at carpet pythons took it off their table so I'd sell mine.
Man.
And I was like, why can't we do that today? Why can't we do stuff like that today?
That's because everybody's a Leo breeder and they all go with Leos. You got to
don't even have any. Dude, I will tell you this. Shane brought this up to me. He goes, Gary, you came to Wisconsin. You were the only leopard gecko breeder. That's what he said. He goes, no one else bred leopard geckos. Now look at all these people. I'm like, yeah, I'm selling to my competition and making my competition, you know? So,
that's nuts.
I mean, Heidi was around before I was here, I think, because Heidi didn't buy the stuff off me. But yeah, there's people starting to set up now that I started.
Right.
I was like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Ooh. Oh, we've been on 3 hours, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
It's another big show.
All right.
So, hey, you guys want to do some closing thoughts?
Some what?
Closing thoughts, because I have to get up in the morning.
Ed, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your product and all your social media information?
Oh, yeah. You could get my stuff at cmcreptiles.net and then CMC Reptiles YouTube, Instagram. You could message me on Instagram if, you need any kind of special ordering. Or you can even email me, cmcreptiles@gmail.com.
And I should have it all in the description also for you guys.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah,
for at any of the sites, I think Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. I'm sorry, guys. You guys watch it on Twitter. They don't let us do descriptions there yet. So you're going to have to jump over to Fauna Radio on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because we do get Twitter listeners now. We have a few Twitter listeners right now.
We do have one question real quick.
Yeah.
Sherry wants to know what CMC means.
Color Morph Creations.
I like it.
I
like it.
Yeah, because when I started, that's what I was doing. I was doing mostly the ball python breeding, which I still do, and I'm going to beef up my collection a little bit with bringing in some adult females. So I'm talking to one guy that's might have 3 or 4 females I'll start bringing in.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, and once this clutch hatches, I'll do a video on the what I get, because that's going to be
don't forget, Ed.
Man.
Number 7.
Yeah, I got turtle eggs incubating too, Andy. If you want one of those.
No. I'll pass on the turtle.
I'm telling you, everyone says leopard geckos have a lot of morphs. They don't have nothing on ball pythons.
No, not even.
God. Man,
corn snakes.
Thanks to just corn snake. Yeah, I have a lavender corn here too. I have a couple of rescue animals of people that don't take care of their pets anymore. I just picked up a redfoot tortoise that someone couldn't care for anymore.
Redfoots are such a personality.
Oh man, I love those things. Are you kidding?
Our redfoots here.
I already have a couple, and I was like, yeah, I'll get them. I'll pick them up.
they fear nothing. They're just like, oh, you got food for me? And they're trying to get to you.
You can even pet their heads. I
yeah.
mean, they don't even go in the shell.
They're just like, we have a wild caught male.
Yeah.
And then we have some captive bred ones we're growing up. And the male, we did do something for the first few weeks. We kept him with our sulcata. But the sulcata was a little bigger, was pushing him around. He stopped eating.
Mine flips it over.
yeah.
My sulcatas are crazy.
We separated them, and now he's like, okay, now I can eat and all this. Because our sulcatas are like this big. And my wife's like, how much bigger? And I'm like, they're babies.
Babies. I said, mine are at 40 pounds, and they got another 50 to go.
Oh,
easy.
I'm waiting. I told her, I'm like, we could take her to, take them to the education stuff now. But when they're adults, I don't know what we're going to do.
You just get a wagon.
I was just going to say get a truck or a wagon or something,
a
trailer.
You just pull them on a wagon. I've seen them like that at the shows where they pull them on wagons.
That's awesome. I mean, tortoises are so underrated.
Oh, man, I love them. If you give tortoises everything, because they dig, they don't dig. They only dig if you don't give them shade, you don't give them shelter out of the heat, out of the cold, and you don't feed them enough. Then they start digging. When you give them everything they need, I've had mine outside for 4 years. It's never even dug anything, no holes, nothing.
And they love to eat, like you said. They don't they need shelter.
They need shelter, or they will dig.
I don't like the people's like, I just put them out in my yard in this big dog fence. I'm like, no, that sun will cook them.
They will they will die. That shell. I mean, I've gunned that shell in just morning temps, and it's almost 100 degrees.
And those reptiles will handle cold better than they do heat.
Yeah, exactly.
All day long.
Exactly. And the longer you have them, the more you learn about them. I think I know more than I went to UC Davis Vet a few years back and brought a ball python up there, and those people know they only know what they've read in books.
Yep.
When it comes to reptiles.
Well, the same thing with doctors when venomous bites. I mean, most of the time you go to a doctor with a venomous bite, you're going to know more about it than they do.
Yeah.
I talked to our vet out here, and he's handled everything from elephants all the way down, and I says, if I have a snake with a problem, would you be able to handle it? He goes, do you know how to do it? He says to me, he goes, would you know what to do? I said, yeah, but I don't have the equipment to do it. I'm not a vet. He goes, well, you tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah. See,
so they don't really know everything, know?
Yeah. Until all they did was start reading all the diseases I could catch from them. You know, you get salmonella, you get this, dysentery, you get this. Oh my God.
Or vets that try to give them so much dewormer and stuff that it kills all the fauna in their gut. For some lizards, they have to have the fauna.
Right.
Like a chameleon, you deworm a chameleon too much, it'll die.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, no, we're good. We're good.
I haven't been to a vet in so long. I'm done.
Yeah, I think the last time was for a cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, everything else, I'm like, I'll handle my own stuff. I mean, I don't remember the last time I got an RI in anything.
Yeah, that's it.
And geckos, I mean, it takes talent to kill a leopard gecko. If you kill a leopard gecko, it takes an actual talent.
Yeah.
And NDB, if you give them calcium, food, and water, they don't care.
They're good.
So,
and even those are a little bit personal. Mine come to the front of the tub. The one's looking at me right now. It's like they come to the front of the tub. Are you going to feed me?
They're just looking for that mealworm or dubia.
Yeah, I've been feeding them the hornworms. I switched their food up. So I'll get the hornworms, silkworms, and then superworms.
Mine love silkworms. I have some that will go on it and will like, nope, I'm not eating until you give me them silkworms again.
Yeah, they're high in protein.
Wow.
And they are good. I got this new... I told you about it, Andy, that company that reached out to me.
Yes.
Told me to do a video. So they're sending me this, it's called black fly larva. So they sent me 1,000 free live larvae, and they want me to do a video on my YouTube channel for them. So once I get it, so I'm going to do a video for them. But I'm kind of excited to get those because with the superworm shortage we have here, it's hard to get any kind of superworms here, or crickets.
And you have rainbow right there.
Yeah. Yeah, rainbow mealworms won't let you. They won't sell any superworms till 2022.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get supers from them at all. I haven't even tried.
They have it on their website. When you try to order, they said we're not selling any superworms till mid 2022.
I should try. I should text her tomorrow my new order and say, "Can you throw some superworms in there?" Because I just text them.
They're trying to rebuild their colonies.
I could tell you this, Ed. You brought up the black fly larva. Right after you had told me that, my friend from Georgia, he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Dude," I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Do you use black fly larva?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "I just got this," and he's same company. He's like, "They offered me 1,000 of them for free if I do a video." He goes, "I don't even have anything that would ever eat anything like that." He goes, "You would think they would go check my YouTube channel first."
Yeah, no. I watched some of the videos they have on their website of other people. They have this one farmer that has chickens, and he buys the dried ones because they have dry that they feed to like chickens, as feed. And he did a cool little funny video for them, and they put it up on their website so you could see it. And the fact that I have the leopard geckos, I have the toads, the blue tongue, all these animals are going to eat that. Even my Euros, because Euros are need calcium than they do protein because they usually just eat grains. Okay. But these black flies carry, I think it said something like 75 times more calcium than a mealworm.
That's huge.
So that's what really caught my attention, was they're going to be great for the Euros, because the Euros love live insects. You just can't feed them too much of the superworms because they need just to eat greens. They say
would they be good? You think they'll be good for Leos then too? Would they?
Oh yeah. I think anything that eats the mealworms and is on all that stuff, the hornworms, these things are going to be perfect because they basically are just maggots. They're just larvae. They're just full of calcium. They have this huge calcium intake. So I think they're going to be great. And they should be great for the geckos. The geckos are a big thing for calcium too. So I think they already sent me a message saying your order shipped. And they paid for everything. Shipping's free. So I figured, why not? And gives me some content to do.
Well, if they're listening, I would do a video for them.
Yeah. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the email, Andy, so you can check it out. You can check their website out. But that's all they sell is that. And they actually raise them. They feed them fruits. They said they feed their larvae fruit and grain and all this high protein, high calcium food. So they're really healthy. So whatever's eating these is going to be very healthy.
Well, you got to gut load them.
I know that guy's feeding it to his chickens. He said his chickens are doing great. So we'll see.
Super chickens now.
Yeah, exactly.
Super chickens.
Exactly. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh no, yeah. We got to do it again. I like doing this. I like the guests because I love Andrew, but we get tired of talking to each other all day. Sometimes. Just kind of go. So any other things you guys want to add?
No, that's it.
I'm good. I just appreciate.
I can't wait. Oh, go ahead, Ed.
No, I appreciate you having me on.
Yep.
Oh, I appreciate
you doing our round table. That's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah, I got Heidi and Seth their game. I'm gonna email some people, see who can get on next week, and we'll do a round table next week. I don't know how that's gonna go with that many people on, but we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it.
Give it a shot.
And we'll see what's going on. So I appreciate everyone being on. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening in too, Sherry.
Yes. All right, guys, we're out.
Peace.